You know what's amazing? We were getting ready doing mic checks, and Pete and I were talking about a certain thing that happened back in the well, maybe it still does. I don't know. Anyway, at UGA, we're going to talk about that. Are we ripping and rolling? Yep. We're okay. Hello. It's Monday, the 23rd of the year 2023 of January. Podcast number 523. 523. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer.
524.
I got 523.
Oh, what do you got?
Don't you have 523?
All right, how did we go?
I had 522 on Thursday.
19, 20, 21. I had 22. Then
22 is Thursday. Today's the Monday, the 23rd. 523. Anyway, well, we'll double check it. But anyway, it's only me. It's only the Kimmer. That was Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And speaking of books, we have a fun update coming up here. And speaking of books, we'll speak of gifts. And the Flounder, the mechanical mangler at the controls, with Lucas the podcat sneaking into the windowsill as we speak. Anyway, how you doing? It's a Monday, and a lot of things we'll start with. By the way, it's a very busy news day. We'll talk about the investigation of UGA. We'll talk about the forest invaders and how come the FBI hasn't been on this from the very freaking beginning, by the way. Another example of the liberals at the FBI headquarters, including our chicken-livered FBI director. We'll also, we got the whole business on Biden. We got the whole business on liberal press. We got the whole business on people being mocked on Twitter for finally we're making some sense out of the lib direction of this country. It's just freaking horrible. Lots of big newsy stuff. Flounder, just out of curiosity, do you know the name Lloyd Booker?
Lloyd Booker? No, I do not.
Lloyd Booker.
No, I do not.
Pete, do you know the name Lloyd Booker?
It's not the Pueblo, is it?
So hold on now. I mentioned that because, again, this is a thing that's never been taught, and there's a story about it that the people may not have heard, and I think it's worth repeating. Anyway, and by the way, that was 1968. Again.
68?
Yeah. And again, it reminds me that of when I was overseas, the Pueblo happened. Martin Luther King was assassinated. Bobby Kennedy was assassinated. I think, holy crap. I mean, all the things that happened that year, 68, 69, was an incredible time in this country. Democratic National Convention, the election. I mean, oh, my God. And anyway, very strange. Anyway, so we got a whole bunch of newsy things to talk about here today. A couple of very bizarre personal incidents, including another Publix experience. Let's see. We got Pete's we'll be talking about Carmela, the side piece, the shiftless vice president of America. We'll talk about that dance studio business a little, I guess. Also, I'm going to ask you whether you think a long-time police officer, a major, has now been reprimanded and punished for a word he said 10 years ago and has since apologized for many times also years ago. And yet somebody found it, and now he's been punished and suspended. 10 years ago. One word. Anyway, we'll get to that. So we got all that stuff. Can I do a couple of quick personal things? First of all, I'm so proud. I just put this on the podcast Facebook page. My little girl, Sarah, my last born little girl, has bен named Educator of the Year. Not Teacher of the Year, but Educator of the Year, because she's in Colorado, and she runs the program to help kids who are in trouble. I mean, it's really unbelievable. What she saves kids, basically, suicide or depression or bad family. I mean, it's really unbelievable. And they love her, and she's, she's just, I can't say, I'm so proud of her. And she is Educator of the Year, and
they named her Educator of the Year.
I named her Educator.
That's a long name. Is she not going to go by Sarah anymore?
Well, actually, she used to be known as Little Piglet, and Jennifer was Mouse. Jennifer was Mouse, and Sarah was Piglet, and that's the way they were raised. Anyway, so God bless you, sweetie. I'm just so proud of you.
The
really,
one good teacher in America.
Yeah, well, I know, but she's not a teacher. She is a saver.
Educator.
She's a saver. Anyway, so we got that going. Oh, my damn phone just went out. Also, let's see. Oh, a couple of quick thank yous. So our friends on Venmo, I mentioned our space waitress, steward eye friend Tracy, who sent us a little thing from San Antonio. Fernando sent us a Venmo gift.
Fernando.
And says, accept a small donation. I enjoy the show very much. Fernando, thank you. And Mark O'Brien also, he said, keep the show rolling. Mark O.B. I like to mention his name. Sorry. Sorry. Anyway, so thank you. That's very much appreciated. Again, if you want to help us, we're trying to keep the show on the air without having
Keep those dogs
pay for the paper. Listen, so Venmo helps, pay-per-view. I mean, not pay, what do we call it? Patreon.com, PayPal, and whatever. And if you go to thekimmershow.net, everything links that you can search through there to our link with the radio station, 106.3, and stuff like that. Okay, now, let's see. I've got so many things I got to get through to say thank you for before we start. First of all, okay, I'll do this. Remember, was it last week we were talking about, in fact, I brought in the papers to see if we're going to take to our accountant, Cindy, about that registration form I keep getting every month. I get a registration form say the state of Georgia demands you file an evacuation plan for your business, and so just fill out this form, pay us $170, and we'll do it. And we kept saying, is this fake? I don't. It says it's not a government agency, so I don't know about it. Yeah. We were going to ask Cindy when we go see her for our taxes sometime in the next few weeks. Okay, so. Here's what I get in the mail. Email from Norris Legal. The Norris people are our podcast representatives. Norris Legal, okay? Hi, Kim. Hope your New Year's off to a great start. I want to remind you your first reminder for the 2023 corporate registrations for Kimmer Media, LLC. And then somebody named Emma Peterson filed something with the Secretary of State, and she says, do you know who this is? And I wrote back, no, I don't know anything about that. Anyway, as your registered agent, we take care of your filing, updating your corporate records. So I want to be sure this is not a third-party company making this filing for you. This is a scam going around where they send you a document in the mail that looks very legit to register your business and overcharges you $170. Please let me know if this sounds like something you have encountered. Thanks for your help. Talk to you soon. Kaylee from Legal Assistant, Norris Legal Family Office, LLC. Mm-hmm. Well, so I said, you know what? I keep thinking about this, and I brought it. Remember last week? I brought the papers in. So I looked through my the Kimmer Media checkbook. I paid them last fall. I sent in $170 thinking it was real. I was paying bills, and I had this one. I said, well, because I didn't want to. I'm never late on the podcast stuff. I always mail them 2 weeks early, and without even, I just had them in the stack, and I paid everything off.
Cindy says it's a scam too.
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. Anyway, so I wrote back to her. Let's see if I can find my response. Yes, I sent a letter to C. The company's called C, capital F, capital S, CFS. For crooked freaking scumbags, I think that's pretty much. And I sent them, was that a scam? And she said, wrote back, yes. Yes, she got caught. And then I said, am I caught up with you guys? And here's what she sent back today. Oh God, I just stopped this.
Getting kind of in the weeds here.
Well, no, I mean it's important because it's worth.
I don't think the listeners think it's all that.
Well, yeah, I've got to say this. I'm just crap. Anyway, she said, shit.
Well, anyway.
Here we go. All right. She wrote back. Well, I can't find it. But she said, she wrote back, she said, this scam has been going around, and we feel bad about it that you've been taken advantage of, so they're not going to charge us for the registration fee this year.
Oh,
so this is Norris Legal Family thing.
They just sent me.
Oh, you got it. And so they are not going to charge us for registering the things we need to register for Kimmer Media, LLC, which I think is unbelievable. And then I said, thank you, I'm going to mention this on the podcast. And then I wrote back, if you catch them, please let me know where I can find them. Just so we can, discuss proper business etiquette, I promise. Yeah. She said, yeah, sure. I'll be issuing new corporate thing. Anyway, so you may have gotten that.
Stuff about it, but yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, so we'll do that. But anyway, thank you, Norris. I just want to say thank you for
nice
they took care of us, and they didn't have to do this.
They're decent people.
I screwed up. I got taken advantage of again, because I'm old and stupid, I guess. It looked, well, everybody's been falling for it, so. Okay. I know, you want to do newsy stuff, or you want to do some more personal stuff?
Hit something important right now.
Well, let's do the UGA thing. Let's start, we got the forest riot thing over the weekend.
Let's do the forest riot first.
Okay,
That's more
let's
important.
do the forest riot first. Let me put this stuff away off to the side here, because I can't find anything. And screw the dance studio. What the hell? Where's my leads? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Okay, now. Okay, protesters. All right, first of all, man, Big headlines. Protesters from out of state blamed. The Al Jazeera Constitution. Let's see. Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens said, that's his name, said most of them traveled into our city to wreak havoc. And we love to support people when they're doing right. Peaceful protests is probably when you are violent, we will make sure you're held accountable. Oh, that'd be a change. And then the story says, what began as a protest over a planned public safety training facility, they set fire to a police car, broke damage. So at least the AGC mentioned that there was some damage and violent stuff going on there. However...
Oh, here's what Reuters said.
Yeah.
Atlanta protest against shooting death of activist briefly turns violent.
Yeah.
There's no reason to put the briefly in there
Right.
except to cover for them and
right.
make it sound like it wasn't that great.
Well-
it was a violent protest, and they said, well, it was only for a little while. You know how
Briefly.
long it takes to kill somebody?
Yeah.
1 second.
That's right.
It doesn't matter how brief it was.
So if it's brief, it doesn't count, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I don't know, Flounder just left the room, but when he comes back, we're going to ask him if we can find some on Fox 5. And again, I do not watch. I should, because I'm doing this for a living, but I just can't watch local news. I can't watch local
can't.
stuff.
First of all, it's horrible.
It's bad.
It's just
The people are totally.
they're 20-year-olds
Yeah, they're
fresh
not,
out of college.
They're not
and-
respectable. They don't have no gravitas. They don't have any experience. I mean, that's important
There's
to me.
maybe
I don't
three people.
believe these people.
There's maybe 3 people in this city that have some kind of gravitas in the news now. They got a drag queen on WSB.
They're
Have you
broad-
seen that guy?
Oh, Jesus, with the makeup and
Yeah,
the eye,
the makeup and the
stuff.
eyes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he doesn't have fingernail polish
Yeah,
on.
come on, you're killing me. I know. I mean,
I can't tell. He looks like a clown.
It's stupid. He looks like he looks like he's going to the stripper pole after work, and he started
He looks
getting
like a
his makeup
drag
on
queen.
early. Yeah, he does. He looks like a tranny. Anyway, and there was a guy, and their sound. I think they scrubbed it because I asked Flounder to find it, and it's now gone. But I heard on 106.3 this morning some sound from local Fox 5, and it was a liberal guy saying. Well, we're here at the scene of the mostly peaceful protest, and the people from out of town and so and so. In the background, the police car's on fire. I mean, they're just calling it a mostly peaceful. It's like the Ashley Babbitt non-insurrection, mostly peaceful protest day. I can't believe it. That guy should be shamed out of his job. I hope the people who watch that are reacting to it.
Oh, people were upset. It went worldwide. It went viral. That even the local Atlanta guys covering for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I never thought I'd see that. But again, does that mean that the local? See, again, I don't watch.
No, I don't think he. Let me say, I don't think he's coming for him. I think he's so stupid. He doesn't know what he's saying. He's just mimicking and parroting what he hears other reporters say. I can't go too far with this, so I got to give both sides of this, even though they're trying to kill people.
I know, but what bothers me is that the only reason they get away with that in the national media is because that's what they all believe, including from the top down. So does that mean to us? I mean, how come nobody either corrected him or took him off the air? I mean, there should be some news producer or director saying, "Whoa, you can't be calling this a mostly peaceful protest." I mean, there were gunshots.
Because after CNN, it was a joke.
Explosions.
It's become a meme that CNN mostly peaceful, and then Fox 5 repeats it.
Marjorie Taylor Greene, the Atlanta media is already running damage. This was as it was happening. Damage control for the Antifa terrorists, but fail miserably. This reporter tries to push a peaceful protest narrative as a police car is engulfed in flames. Atlanta police are under attack by Antifa terrorists. Left-wing terrorism is the biggest threat to democracy. When will Merrick Garland and the DOJ go after actual terrorists instead of MAGA Trump supporters? Downtown Atlanta is being smashed to bits by Antifa terrorists right now. Breaking news, one of the suspects arrested in the Atlanta attack is Francis Carroll, who was out on bail for domestic terrorism from an arrest last month at an autonomous zone. He's been charged with terrorism again, arson, and more. He's from a multi-millionaire family in Maine.
Yeah, that's crossing state lines with...
Why hasn't the FBI been in on this from the beginning? And why didn't they have undercover agents in there at first for a while?
Because mommy and daddy are connected.
Jeez, I mean, well, because they're white liberal women from Oberlin and Union College and
Why don't we find out where they
Princeton or
live? They send their kids down here to bomb our city. Why don't we find out where they live?
Well, up in Boston, the Speaker of the House's daughter in their legislature is one of the rioters, and they're saying,
Really?
well, it's a troubling moment for all parents. Kind of. Yes, it is. CNN's guest suggests we shouldn't use the word violent to describe the Antifa riots. In fact, you have that soundbite, Flounder, the CNN guy.
Yep. You know who he was? He's just a freelance journalist.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy?
He's a guy. He has a camera in his trunk, I guess, to go to film things and a tape recorder.
He's the expert.
He just shows up when he hears it on the police scanner. Something's going on.
Don't come to our city and tell us what we can say about.
Let's get this guy on CNN, boys.
He's a friend to somebody. I guarantee you, he's a friend to someone at CNN.
Hard to freaking believe. Antifa destroying buildings and setting police cars on fire. And here's what the CNN guy is saying. The guest on CNN.
I do think that, you keep using these words, violent, and it gives the impression, the only violence or the only acts of violence against people that I saw were actually police tackling protesters.
There's literally a car on fire, a police car on fire in that video.
And he's talking about the police attacking them. Did you hear one of them? They're all chanting, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe."
Right.
Oh, we wish you couldn't breathe.
Unfortunately. I mean, honestly,
I don't care if they kill him.
I don't know why they didn't take nightsticks to every single one.
I wish they could.
If they start coming toward a cop, then they are accosting a police officer. Anyway, and again, if we know they were from out of state, then we know that they've been from not all, but there have been a lot of them from out of state from the beginning. This has been going on for what, a year?
Yeah, they put up. This is what happens when you put up with it instead of rule of law. Rule of law says they should not have been there. They should have taken them out the first week they were there. Yeah. I have no problem if someone is homeless and needs to sleep in some woods and they're not doing anything, but they're doing something at this point. Okay, need to focus. We've done that.
Pictures of Lucas podcast. Why didn't the FBI go in from the beginning? And we know the reason why. The same reason, and we'll get to this here in a moment. The same reason why the FBI did not go investigate the Biden house until they were asked to by the White House.
Yep.
We'll get to that in a minute. I mean, that just is absolutely horrible. Again, we will not forget this. We'll not forget the summer of rage. We will not forget the summer of rage in 2020. We will not forget the riots surrounding President Trump's election. These left-wing groups like Antifa and BLM are terrorists, and they will be treated like it.
When?
Yeah.
They were all smiling and smug in their mugshots because they know nothing's going to happen to them.
It.
I bet they make some plea deal and they release them and they send them out, in which they'll be back in a month.
Well,
they're not afraid of anything.
The one guy
they should be afraid.
He's already been charged and was let out a month ago for domestic terrorism. Why are they getting out? I mean,
you wouldn't be out. If you'd be still like the January 6th hostages that the federal government is holding up there.
By the way, there's been one meme after another about exactly that. How is it possible that these actual domestic terrorists are walking free almost immediately, and they were holding people in solitary confinement for walking in the building? Yeah. The guy with the elk horn hat, well, his crime was not leaving Nancy Pelosi's speaker chair when he was asked to. He didn't hurt anybody, didn't hit anybody, didn't charge the cops. He disobeyed a police order to get the hell out of the chair, and they sent him to prison for what, 4 years? For sitting in her chair. I mean, honestly, I hope to God that sorry, I can't say it.
Can we have open season on some of these?
I hope.
Let's make it so you're afraid to come to the South anymore if you're coming here to do harm to us. That you never leave.
It used to be that way.
Well, it was that, but that wasn't a good way.
Unfortunately,
that wasn't a good way.
The Democrats were in control.
You ended up in a levee somewhere.
Well,
that wasn't a good thing.
That was all the Democrats.
If you're coming here to blow people up,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Jail.
I have friends that are going to go downtown right outside of the Hotel Indigo. They were thinking about staying there. They're not staying there now.
No.
You're an idiot if you go downtown Atlanta. They can't protect you.
I know. It's. I mean, I don't.
That's right in the heart of the hotel district.
Yeah.
If you're coming here from some other place and you're here in Atlanta and you see that happening, are you ever coming back?
No. Let's do another. Any more media stuff off the top of your head on this? Again, it's an absolute disgrace. And
from local to Reuters.
The mayor said well, you shouldn't be doing this, and we're going to arrest you if you cause violence. Well, thank you, appreciate it. I haven't heard the governor.
Where's the governor?
He may have said, I don't watch local news, so he may have been all over it. I don't think so, because it wasn't anywhere in the Al Jazeera Constitution.
Maybe you should come home from Europe because your capital is on fire.
Well, I don't know if he did or not. All I know is I haven't heard any. I mean, it's just amazing. This is more of a national story than it is a local story. The local story is treating it like the protesters did in Portland and Seattle. Oh, my God.
I have the audio of Mayor Dickens.
Yeah, I don't care about it. Screw him.
He said some right things, though. He's calling him out for being from here.
Well, what's he going to say?
Well, the thing that's going to see is...
That's why he didn't blame Atlanta.
Well, he's done more than the biatch did.
Well, I know, but
who enabled him.
Well, what's going to be interesting is what happens to them in the next 48 hours.
Right. Yeah. But what his main focus, the first thing he made the point of was, these aren't my people. This is not Atlanta. We're in control of Atlanta. These are outsiders causing the mayhem. So don't be blaming us for it. I mean, I guarantee you that's why he made the point of these are all outsiders. Because once again, I'm glad he said violence is not allowed without being punished. Good for you. But, that's not
until they see impressive. Actual prison time where they can be rogered and buggered every night. Yeah. They're going to wipe that smug smile off their face.
Yeah, especially those liberal girls, those 20-year-old. They're the most dangerous leftists in the country right now.
They turn them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the men are just there to get laid.
Yeah. Well, that's where the easy ones are. The left has always been the easy ones. I mean, that's why you take theater classes.
That's why I was a Democrat, a young Democrat, yeah.
Because they're the easy ones. All the lefties.
The Republican girls are better looking,
well, yeah.
but they don't put out as much.
No, they're not as easy. They're just a little harder to... I try to put your arm around her shoulder and dip down a little bit, when you go with that first... I don't think so. She'll go like this. Not anymore.
On the side, what's for supper there, Grandpa? It smells good.
Teriyaki chicken.
Oh, very
so
nice.
I was playing the form of a waiter there. You always wait till they have something in their mouth, and you walk up and ask them a convoluted question.
Yes.
What is Lucas playing with?
His paw.
Okay, gotcha.
Uh-oh. Okay. Any other unfinished business on the Georgia Forest people? Just other than it's
Treehouse Antifa.
I don't know why they didn't burn it down. I don't know why they didn't go
when
in
they
the first
attacked
time.
that guy a week or so ago.
I know.
They burned him in his car, his truck.
I don't know why they didn't have the fire department actually literally burn down the tree. They got to get rid of them, right? Because they're going to tear them down to put the vent in there
and start shooting them.
Well, just set them on fire and let them see if they want to leave the tree house
let's
now.
Put that. If you're homeless and you got no place to go and you found a patch of woods that you're not hurting anybody, you're not tearing anything up or burning or chopping trees down, I got no problem with you being there. But once they start attacking people, then everybody's got to go.
Well, but plus the problem is if you allow one guy to do it, then he says, hey, he calls all his friends. Obviously, you got 700 people living in the forest. Come on.
One of those homeless those Obama phones he's using to call all his friends.
He says, an anti-homeless bum person.
I got my Obama phone.
Oh my God. It's our turn now.
Well, since we're on a roll, let's go straight to the Bulldog fans upset.
Absolutely, and again, that's a story that is. You've got to cover it. We have to get to the bottom of it, and it's going to be awful and horrible, and it was awful and horrible from the beginning.
If they're on a farm somewhere on a private road.
Okay, start from the beginning.
And have the Bulldog wreck where it killed 2 people died, 2 people in the hospital.
After the big rally, 2:00 in the morning, people are leaving. 2 football players and one young girl who worked for UGA.
She was part of the recruiting. She was part of the recruiting department.
Yeah.
Okay, and was the other girl also?
I don't know.
Anyway, there were 2 guys, 2 girls, 2 football players, and 2 girls. The girl who was driving worked for UGA as for the athletics department. And she was driving, and she was apparently going way too fast. And you've seen the video of crashing through trees and signs and barriers. I mean, she must have been going 100. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Flying.
2:00 in the morning, and she and the football player with her. I don't know if it was a companion or I don't know if it was a date, but the guy she was with were killed, and the 2 others were hurt. And they were originally going to sue And then the family said, well, UGA's been really good about this.
They're
so we're
taking
not,
care of us.
Yeah, they're taking care of us, so we're not going to sue, taking care of our expenses and stuff, I assume along with a whole bunch of other stuff.
Millions.
So they're not going to sue. However, I tell them, all of a sudden now the story is that, wait a minute, we can't just forget this whole thing because this family's not going to sue UGA.
Chip Tower, who covers them and everything, put out a story about what's going on. And then he put out a second story, which I'm sure his editors made him do, which he shouldn't have to, but you have to nowadays, because the Bulldog fans are the majority of their few listeners, readers they still have left.
Yeah.
They can't piss them off, but they're pissing them off. They have to investigate the story.
Well, tell the story.
If they're driving around on a country road somewhere that's on private land, all right, it's none of our business.
Yeah.
They were on a public road, endangering other people that could have been on that road. And so, by God, we need to know if she was drunk. I'm sorry. We need to know that. We now know they were going too fast. If she was drunk, we need to know it. I'm sorry. That's
now his crime was that all he did was say, he didn't do anything. No, I'm saying that people reacted to him because he did a story saying we need. Yeah, but
in fact,
all
one
he
of
did.
them responded to him and says, "We already know that the reports come out that there was no drugs or alcohol." And he goes, "That's not true. The
We don't know
toxicology
that.
report hasn't come out yet,
Takes
and it's not
weeks.
going to be out for a while probably."
Yeah.
But the Bulldog fans are already saying, and I understand why it's a sensitive subject. But they're already
That's too
trying to
bad.
cover it up and put it away. No. This was a public road.
Yeah.
We all have the right to know what was going on.
Yeah, and it's just
And that's
the
another
facts.
thing with the university. They
can't-
supposedly went to a strip club beforehand. Were they all over age? I guess she was. I don't know about the players.
I guess you have to be 21. You have to be 21 or 18 to go in.
21 to go in, right? Because there's
I'm
liquor,
not
right?
Sure. Well, 8 you can. Well, I assume.
Now,
I assume.
if it was a drag show, they could have gone in at 8. But in this
right.
day and
It's
age,
a first
but they
grade.
leave it a strip club. Well, there's alcohol there. I don't know what. What role do these women have in the recruiting thing that they're out with the players at a strip club and then driving way too fast at 3 a.m. in the morning?
Yeah.
You got to wonder, what kind of role are we talking about here?
The other thing is, things I don't know. I don't know whether they were dating. I don't know if she was an official driver and a person could take the players where they need to go.
And
in
she
an
would
official
stay sober.
capacity. So she was the designated driver, or whether they were assistants who are there to do whatever a football player, if he has to go back to his dorm, they give him a ride. I don't know. So I don't know the official relationship of any of the four of them, and it was never mentioned whether they were dating.
At the
or
very
boyfriends.
beginning, they said she was dating another player. I haven't heard that anywhere since, which brings up the question to me, how can you work for the university and date one of the players?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Maybe that was a false report from the very first day or two from the accident.
Well, again, I don't know. We just don't know anything. But we ought to know something.
No other employee at that school can date a student, right?
I don't know. I assume not. I can't imagine. You can't. If you're working for them on the payroll, I would assume you probably. I don't know. Maybe if they just reported, it's okay. I don't know. We don't know any of this.
Could be that's why they have to investigate.
Yeah.
This could all be totally innocent.
Yeah.
They were just going too fast. That could be the whole thing. If we find that out, that's it's not wonderful. But
she could have had a leg cramp and her foot went like that and jammed on the accelerator and flew. It's possible. So before we condemn anybody, but again, we need to find out.
For once, we're
stop complaining that we want to find out what happened.
I'm siding with the reporter, but they're right. It's their job to pursue something like this, even if it leads down a place that's uncomfortable.
I know. Okay. Can I do a quick thank you thing, and then we'll go back to do newsy stuff?
But before you do that,
yes.
The hard news segment brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets, closetpro.net. Some of this news is so hard you think you have to go into the closet just to get away from it.
I know.
Well, they have the big enough closets to do it. Call 404-255-0589. That's Atlanta Custom Closets. The ladies love the closets. You know what? I found the older I get as a guy, and I've got all these damn T-shirts and stuff, and I can't decide which one to wear, I just rotate them.
Yeah.
And for that, you need a big closet.
Yeah, you do.
I'm literally like a woman. When I'm looking for a place to live, I'm literally looking for a place that has a large walk-in closet, like I'm Imelda Marcos.
I have a huge walk-in closet.
I love it.
I rent a townhouse, and I have, of course, 2 other bedrooms with closets that I just pour stuff into because I live by myself. But it makes a difference when it's organized. You got stuff you don't use, get it over there.
I haven't had things in drawers since I was a kid.
Yeah, there you go. It's not working. Anyway, Atlanta Custom Closets, thank you. A quick thank you to Jim from Atlanta, who sent us, check this out, boys, he sent us 4 buttons of Back the Blue, the thin blue line,
All
4
right.
different ones.
That is so
and a
cool. Look at
letter,
this.
and it says, Kimmer things. I'd like to ask Biden, Kerry, Obama, etc., if they're so into climate change. As far as I know, none of their private homes has any solar panels or wind turbines. Have they taken out their gas stoves and furnaces and put them in electric? As far as renewable, there's no way to have all electric cars and homes unless you cut down all the trees to put up solar farms. By the way, if the war in Ukraine, if the war in Ukraine, will the U.S. be expected to finance the rebuilding of Ukraine when and if it ever ends? That's a great point that nobody's talked about.
No.
You know we're going to have to. It's just like rebuilding Germany.
We don't have to do shit.
But we're doing it anyway. We're still sending them billions. Why are we paying for their war? And by the way, let me
You
finish
know
it first.
why? Because we're making money
I
off
know.
of it.
Well, let me finish this.
Some people.
Every dollar NATO puts in, they expect to the U.S. to put in $1,000. Ask Joe if he's planning to convert his Corvette to electric power, which he keeps in his Fort Knox garage with his 10-foot thick walls and 5-foot vault door.
It's a big funnel system. We're giving them money, and they bring it back with campaign
There you go.
Well,
contributions.
They send it back in overseas accounts, and the politicians get rich. That's how they all get rich.
Yeah. Let me finish this
So
up,
you have
boys.
to wonder. That's why Mitch McConnell was like, the most important thing for the GOP is
The war in
Ukraine.
Ukraine, yeah. The number one topic of the Republican Party. What an idiot.
It's a proxy war, and it's the Black Rocks and all the other ones that are the Halliburtons. They're making the money off of it.
By the way, the letter continues. Will this swapmywhip.com, could a person swap their Prius with a Dodge Hellcat Red-Eye wide-body? Possibly.
If you're a good talker.
Maybe the guy really wants to go electric. Absolutely. Swap my whip. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Right.
By the way, it says, P.S. You can send you guys some buttons for you and Lucas the Podcat, which was very nice.
All right, I'm going to try and pin this button on him. Hold
I already
still.
sent him a thank you note, which I think was fairly cool.
If we're doing a thank you,
Yeah.
I got to thank David.
David, what did he do?
Oh, my God. David sent me a wonderful note.
Yeah.
And said, "I'm sorry to hear about the flood, and you lost some stuff. I lost some books, and one of them was a great Winston Churchill
First
book,
edition,
first edition.
yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Path to Glory. What's it called?
The Gathering Storm.
Gathering Storm. That's
and
right.
David found a copy of it and has sent me a copy of it. It was the most bubble wrapped thing I've ever seen in my life, and it was wonderfully packaged.
My God.
with
So
a lovely note.
You lost a first edition Winston Churchill,
Gathering Storm.
and so David sent you one to replace the
Yeah.
one that was.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I hope. Geez, now I'm going to feel a little guilty because I sent David a note that I lost a Fabergé egg in your storage area. I don't know whether he knew that.
There it is, the Gathering Storm.
By the way, I took some video of Lucas the Podcat in my coat, which is particularly cute, and Pete yelled at me, so I'm going to send it to you later. Well, I was listening and doing the thing. It's like when I do it, and all of a sudden you get up and go to talk to Flounder for 7 minutes. And
Because
I'm
you're
like,
doing
where'd you
something.
Go? Where'd you go?
I'm talking to him about business, not
my
a cat.
God.
I'm not going over there saying,
Get
"Oh,
off my
boy,
back."
Lucas looks extra fluffy today,
Get out of
doesn't
my
he?"
ass.
But that is one of the most wonderful things anyone has ever done for me. David, thank you.
I'm incredibly impressed. Incredibly impressed. David, thank you that was just very, very nice. Generous and thoughtful.
Yes.
People aren't as thoughtful as they used to be, I don't think.
That's true. We have the best listeners.
We have great. We had the best radio audience when we were on the radio. We had the best. Our radio audience got it. They were in on it. You know what? Really, you know what I mean? And that's what made it so much fun. Is like we're all everybody was having fun with it, and the same with you podcast people. Got to hear from all over the world still, and it's so much fun.
That is the best smelling teriyaki chicken I've ever. You son of a.
Now, where'd you get that, Flounder?
Yummy Japan.
Yummy Japan. Is that a local thing I hear?
Yeah, it's a local place like 10
Are
minutes
they
down the
actually
road.
Japanese people working?
Outstanding.
Really?
I hope so because I only get it delivered.
Well, there you are. Let's see, a couple things. Can I do a quick personal thing of embarrassment? No. Okay. All right. In that
Go ahead,
case,
do it.
all right. So, well, you want to do sports? I want to do holy
No,
crap
do
of
your
sports.
personal embarrassing
Okay, there's a
thing.
couple things. All right. Remember last week, you, in fact, were bringing up the issue of how to calm an angry woman.
That's right.
And we, by the way, Those dings are my favorite, my favorite ex-wife, her husband, Jennifer, Sarah, because Sarah got the award, Educator of the Year, so now they're all congratulating her, and it goes on my phone. Sorry for the interrupt, but I'm not turning it off because I want to see what's going on. Anyway, okay, so Pete, we talk about how to calm an angry woman, and the best way normally is just say, hey, calm down. You know, that's the best way.
You're acting like your mother.
Yeah. Well, guess what? I've told you over the last couple of days, I've had some issues with people trying to get me to pay bills on my phone.
Yes.
Signing up to an app, and I said, I don't do it, and I'll call them and say, I'll be happy to give you the number over the phone if you want, but I'm not putting it into my phone. Okay. The worst case was the Atlanta oral facial surgery people who did my $20,000 teeth business that wasn't covered by Humana. So they a couple of weeks ago, they texted me on my phone, and it said, oh, Humana didn't cover $400 more. You owe us $400. Go to this website in the Bing Bank. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. So I texted them back, and I said, I'd be happy to call me. I'll give you it over the but I'm not doing that in the phone. So a couple of days later, I got another text. Same thing. You owe us money. All right, so I called him, talked to an actual human, and I explained to her that I don't do it into the phone, but I said, send me a bill in the mail like, we used to have. I know you're going paperless. I'm not paperless, thank you. So send me a freaking bill. I'll pay it immediately. That was, week passes, more text messages. Never got a thing in the mail. So finally, on Friday, I called him again. And the girl answered the phone and said, hi, this is Kim Peterson, and I'm calling to take care of this bill because you people keep sending me the text messages, and I've explained to you that I don't do things in my phone, but I'll be happy to give you the number. She says, well, sir, first of all, just calm down. I swear to God. I swear to God. And she was black, by the way. Not that makes a difference, but I'm going to refer to that in a minute with another story about a black chick who made a social media ruckus. Anyway, but she was polite, but she was, and I said, you don't have to patronize me. I said, I have. I said, you have not been very good with your customer service, and I'm calling to tell you I want to take care of this problem. You don't have to, criticize me for it. So that already I'm raising my voice twice, with the thing. Anyway, so she told me to just relax, just calm down, and then I told her, don't patronize me. So she puts me on hold and sends me to somebody else.
People skills.
And that, as it turned out, that I talked to the lady and I explained to her very calmly. I said, I said, okay. So I gave her the number over the phone. She put it in the system, and so that's the ball game here. I said, please stop texting me and trying to make me feel like some kind of scofflaw because you did the wrong thing. So anyway, so that ended up. Now, speaking of Humana, me and my high tech. I get some kind of notice from Humana, and so I pay no attention to it because mostly they'll call. I never answer the phone when Humana calls because they usually just want to have some nurse come to my home and see how I live. Yeah, see, I don't think so.
Hey, come on.
Yeah. Anyway, so these things. So then I looked at my stack of when I get a bill in the mail. I have a stack in order of the dates due, stuff like that. So I make sure I'm never late with the bill. And then I realized with Humana, I would get a coupon book and I'd send them my premium every month. And the premium used to be $25, $12. All last year, my monthly premium for Humana was $6. Okay, that was my monthly. Now, I still had to pay co-pays when I went, but my monthly coupon was $6. Now, I still pay out of my Social Security, still charging me $400 for whatever. Anyway, so it was $6. So I realized I didn't get a coupon book for 2023. And so I called. So I said, okay, here we go. So I called Humana. Never talked to a human. When I first called him, I got the hello. If you'd like, I did the prompts and the thing and the 1 and the 2. Would you like to pay a bill? Yes, I would. So I did.
We want to introduce.
Wow, that was loud. Holy shit! Did Lucas do that? Oh my God! Did he jump on the?
He hit a button.
Did you hear that? Oh my God!
I have it on mute, and he.
Maybe he's trying to send you a message, Kim.
Lucas jumped on the keyboard and
maybe he's trying to send you a message about
to
this
shut
story.
up. Well, it's almost over. Anyway, I paid I put in my credit card number on his prompt, which I and paid the $6 bill, and then it said, "Do you have something else to do?" And I said, "Yes, I want to talk about my coupon book." And it took me like 10 minutes to finally get someone to act, an actual human, and I got very, very surprised because I kept saying to her, I didn't get a coupon book, so don't blame me if I have a late bill for January. And she looked, and finally she came back and said, "Oh, There's no charge this year. So I don't have any coupons. End of story before you hit that bell.
Rocco is begging me on this, which
it's
I
over.
understand what you're saying, because this morning I tried to cancel my cable, AT&T.
Oh, really? Oh, because you're not there anymore.
And first of all, you don't get a human, but they give you a choice. They say, are you calling about canceling your cable or canceling your internet? And I said, both. Are you calling to cancel your cable or your internet?
Oh, God,
both.
here
This
we
went
go.
on for like 5 minutes before it finally gave up. I outlasted it, right? And then she finally said, well, okay, what we'll do is you have to call this number because they need a verbal.
Yeah.
You have to verbally
Yeah.
tell somebody
Well,
you're
that makes
canceling,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
They do that so they can talk to you because, you can just, where's your
Did
new
you know we have a
address?
new program?
We can send this to your new address, and you can keep doing it. It says, I don't know what my new address is. Well, if you just give us the zip code, then I don't know what
Yeah.
the zip code is. It was
Wow.
on and on and on, and it took almost an hour just to cancel
Cancel
it.
your service, yeah.
Just to cancel. And finally got through with him. I said, look, buddy, my place flooded. There's nothing there anymore.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm sorry about that. So I should have led with that.
Jeez. Oh,
But
man.
it took an hour, and I still have to go to UPS or FedEx and drop off the boxes.
Yeah, whatever you do, keep that tracking number.
Yeah.
They will try and bill you even though when you
Really?
send it back. AT&T took me to collections over $100.
I got it right here.
Really?
I got that order confirmation number and account number. I got it all right here.
Don't lose that. That has the tracking number.
What tracking number? What's that?
You said you had it shipped back to UPS. You were gonna have it.
I have to take it. And
Yeah,
then
what
they'll
I'm saying.
give me
Yeah,
one.
keep that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. But it's like forever. And they set you up that they want you to talk to them twice. You can't just say, I need to cancel everything.
Yeah.
You have to cancel one at a time. I said, no.
Let's do a quick newsy thing. I want to do a little sports update with you, and I assume you're doing Holy Crap at Sports later today.
Later today.
Best does podcast sportscast in America. The mass shooting at the dance studio, and again, the guy. I guess there was one guy. Is the latest? It was just the one guy killed himself.
72-year-old guy
Yeah.
mad at other Asians.
Chinaman mad at other Chinamen, and it was on the Lunar New Year celebration.
Why hasn't that been a bigger story? Oh, I
Well,
know
that-
why. Because he didn't look like me.
Yeah, he wasn't a white supremacist. The lunar. That's when I got to Vietnam. Was Tet Offensive '68. It can be a violent time depending on where you're. But again, this was in California, Monterey Park, Star Dance Studio, and by the way, it was also a pistol. If he had had an AK-47 or AR-15, I'll bet you they would have made more about it. Anyway, and you notice that the police had surrounded the van they caught for hours. And I think the reason was they might have been afraid not only there could have been somebody alive in there, but also that it might have been rigged for bombs and go off. So and people say, why do you go in there? Well, relax. It's not going anywhere.
You've seen those robots that can walk
Yeah.
and do backflips and everything. Why don't they just have that sucker
By the
walk
way,
up to the door?
Did you see the latest robot doing that?
It's scary.
Holy crap!
all over the
Now,
place.
literally, ladies and gentlemen, you've got to Google this. They have the robot. I mean, he's a metal, robot with no head, but arms and legs. And they had him perch on something and then do a complete somersault backflip and land on his legs like he's an Olympic champion.
And the dog can jump over fences and come after you. That's
Holy it's here.
they're here. Why? I don't know how the Army doesn't have them right now, just to go search something
I
out.
would think. I mean, I don't know. When I saw that video, I guess it was over the weekend. Recently, I saw it. Now, holy mackerel! I mean, that's
Instead of sending the canine unit, you send that thing in the woods after you.
absolutely. And obviously, the eyes are visible live by technology to some guy sitting in the car, in the van.
We hope.
So I turn left a little bit. I mean, and I mean, it's got to be like the robot arms. You do it. Oh my God, how cool would that be to have your own robot to do stuff, and you're looking through your eyepiece to make them do
Well,
things.
the Jetsons show us what would happen.
Oh, there you are.
what was her name? Rosie, the maid or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I want to talk about a Publix experience. I want to talk about tummy aches that show two cliches are almost always true. First of all, Holy Crap at Sports later on today. Your reaction to the NFL playoffs.
Boy,
What a couple of bonehead plays and endings. All right, sorry.
how does
You
Mike
go.
McCarthy?
I can't wait to hear you talk about
How
this.
does Mike McCarthy hold his job?
Oh, he's got to be.
They got to be calling Sean Payton and begging him at this point.
Dallas fans are. And by
should
the way,
be.
5 seconds. by
I'm
the way,
afraid to talk to Shannon Burke this Thursday because he's such a cowboy. I'm afraid to talk to him.
they when they lined up and they split everybody out, so you know it's going to be like a lateral last play of the game thing. And then just totally blew. I mean, it was just, oh my God,
Only Dallas.
What were you thinking?
And not only that guy Dalton Schlitz or Schultz.
Yeah,
I know
Schultz.
nothing. I know that. First
What
of all,
an idiot!
he doesn't get out of bounds quick enough, so they don't stop the clock because he was lazy about that. And was it the next play or the next 2 or 3 plays? They catches a ball and he doesn't get both feet in.
I know.
And even Greg Olson says, "Well, that's just
Just
nonchalant."
lazy. Yeah, he just kind of he kind of assumed he had 1 foot dragging down.
You
but
can't
it wasn't.
assume the season's
He
on the
should have been
line.
bam, bam, bam.
I
He
know.
should have just collapsed immediately.
Kittle wouldn't have done that.
Oh, man.
Hayden Hurst wouldn't have done that.
And then the case of the guy who went out of bounds and stay at the end of the game instead of taking a knee, where they could have run their time off the clock at the very end. It was
And McCarthy wasted 30-something seconds
yeah.
at the end, too, before
Just
they punted.
Unbelievable. Thoughts
He's
on
got to
the
be fired.
Yeah. Well, and now thoughts on this quarterback Purdy, Brock Purdy. I love the story of this guy. He shows up for the game looking like it's his first day at some big tech company like Google or something. He didn't exactly. He looks like Greg Maddux looked in a suit and tie as a big league all-star, major league star pitcher, and this guy looks like some punk clerk at Google or something. Which is man, what a story though. Of course, he almost blew it at the end when he threw that ball with a couple seconds left and almost had to land before the time was over. Remember that? He could have blown that whole game.
But still, the
Anyway.
fact that Dallas could not beat a guy making his 7th start.
I know.
And the defense played well, but come on.
Yeah. Well, but on the other hand, they look good. I mean, San Francisco looked like a
If
tough team.
if they had a quarterback that was, you can see why they try to get Brady next year.
Yeah.
Because Purdy, I don't know
But
if
he
he's
won the
long-term.
game. I mean, the guy's
He won the
undefeated. He's 7-0. I mean, boy, I'd keep playing.
I would have a hard time thinking that they can outscore Philly, though, in Philadelphia.
Well,
it's going to be very
I
hard to
don't know about
outscore the
Philadelphia.
Eagles.
I don't trust them for
Boy,
some
they
reason.
looked good against
Yeah,
the Giants. They were
did.
unstoppable.
Well, the Giants look bad, and man, the fans are going nuts. And speaking of New York teams, Buffalo, I can't believe Josh Allen got. And what was it, 14-0 in the first 2 minutes, the first 2 drives?
Cincinnati drives down and scores, and it's in the
Jeez.
snow. And Allen overthrows a guy who's wide open,
Yeah.
who would have had a big gain. Maybe they go down, score 7, score 3, whatever. But
Would have kept him in the ball
3
game.
and out.
14-0.
Next thing you know, it's 14-0,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking this isn't good. And there's something wrong with him because he always runs the ball. He runs and he runs over guys and stuff like that. He
Is he
wasn't
hurt? You
doing
think he's
it.
hurt?
I think he was a little banged up and he couldn't do what he usually does because usually he dominates. But I tell you what, Cincinnati's beaten 3 or 4 in a row. They've handled Kansas City. Right now, Cincinnati's a juggernaut.
I'll tell you, Cincinnati, and now with who are they playing? Kansas City.
In Kansas
That
City.
could be a great game.
Thank God they won because the NFL. Here's the latest bullshit from the NFL.
What now?
They've got it
Oh,
in their
we're coming
head
to Atlanta?
that what they're trying to do is not only the Super Bowl in a neutral site, but the AFC and NFC title games to put in a neutral site. And they have their propaganda bitches in the media, like Monday Morning Quarterback, saying, "Well, this is why they're trying to do that. They're going to audition stadiums see if they can do Super Bowls." They do that all year long.
They don't have to do that.
All year
They play
long.
all year. You know what the stadium's
They
like.
know what
There's no
stadiums.
secrets.
They know what can happen. It's all bullshit.
But
They
there's
put that
something
out
don't,
there.
What do they don't? What don't they know about a stadium
And
right
people
now?
called them out saying, "You're just a
Please.
bunch of whores and doing this for them."
Give the
what they
home
want is
team
more
winners
money.
a chance to have their home team there. For God, that's the whole point of trying to win the games.
All season long, you're
Home
fighting
field
for home field
advantage.
advantage, and it's better than a Super Bowl. AFC, NFC games are better than the Super Bowl because
Yeah.
the fans are really into it.
Yeah.
They're trying to take that out of there, take that joy out of the fans,
Yeah.
throw it in a neutral site. Why? Because these bastards who make more money than anybody
I know.
want more money.
I know.
And then they want more money, and they still won't pay the players.
wrong.
They still won't pay the referees. And they'll still do everything on the cheap. Okay, someone pointed out, this is a multi-billion-dollar corporation. A huge, one of the biggest things in the world. And they got 2 senior citizens with a chain on the sidelines.
I know.
And they're getting the chains tied
Why
up.
don't they have the electronic eye to show? I mean, it's just
Put a chip in the football.
And obviously you should still have people on the sideline holding a sign so the quarterback and the defenders know where the first down is. Obviously, have someone standing there with a big balloon or something, but you
their
do it
chains?
officially with a light.
It makes no
Oh, my
sense.
God, it's just
you have
stupid.
sensors in the gridiron
by
itself.
by a 16th of a millionth of an inch, you make sure the ball's placed properly. I mean, anyway, I don't know.
Well, that's the NFL.
Stupid.
And so they were floating that out. And if the Bills had won, we'd be seeing the AFC game here in Atlanta at a neutral site, and they would have said, "What a great success this was. Let's try this."
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
a horrible
No,
idea.
It's stupid. It's stupid. I mean, you have to have the Super Bowl at a neutral site because it'd be fair to both teams made great strides, so it'd be unfair to have one over the other. But so that makes sense. But not the playoffs are why you try to win more games when you're
It becomes
winning.
the NBA at that point.
Yeah.
What does it matter?
Yeah. I don't
Does
get
it
it.
matter? And of course, watch them try and do it. Because once again, NFL doesn't give a shit about you or me or the fans. They don't give a shit about the players or the referees. All they care about is them making money. And they're already some of the richest people in the world. I don't understand where this comes from.
Well, ever since they were when you get your business as a special exemption to normal rules of business.
Well, I don't know if football has that. Baseball
think-
does. I don't know if football has the antitrust thing.
I think football
Didn't they
has
kind of get away with that?
I think they have a lot of stuff where
Well,
owners have to vote on whether another owner can sell his own team, and so I mean there's a whole bunch of differences in the NFL.
It's the only socialist entity I know that works.
Yeah, well, that's true. Anyway, all right, coming up, I want to talk some more sports with you, including the cold weather guys who don't wear long sleeves when it's 9 degrees and playing football. Anyway, just a curious thing. Also, a Publix experience. We'll talk about the Oberfuhrer Chrissy Ray at the FBI and how they've once again proven that they're totally on the side of the left. The president and his game of charades. Do we get the sound of Carmela's side piece? Yeah, okay. Wait till you hear this, the latest one. Also, there was an exorcism at the Pelosi residence. And I think they got the wrong target. Plus, the black chick who says, "Don't talk to me that way." Joy Behar mocking. We got a whole bunch of things. Plus, a moment in history that might be of entertainment or possibly not of enjoyment. But first, saluting our sponsors, Wise RV Glass. What a great idea this is. This is a company that we've been on for years now here at the Kimmer Show podcast. Particularly a great idea during the China kill virus lockdown and everything. Wise, W-I-S-E, Wise RV Glass is a company that will come to where you are if you have any kind of a glass issue, broken, cracked, missing, whatever, glass on your RV, motor coach, or camper, vehicles like that. Could be fogged up double pane windows, for example, or maybe a cracked rear view mirror. And you're saying, "Oh, I'm not going to call somebody to fix a rear view mirror. I'll just go try to." No. That's what they do. They come to you. It's an all mobile service. No job is too small or too big. But if you, or special, for example, if you have an RV that has one of those hard to find one piece flat front windshields, they'll take care of that too. Everything in between, side mirrors, side windows, whatever you're looking at. All mobile service, all of North Georgia, all of Metro Atlanta. What a great opportunity. When you call, say hi to Carl, the dad who retired. Son Russell's taken over everything. Here's the phone number for Wise RV Glass. Area 470-345-6521. And on the web, wiservglass.com. They're a sponsor not only of the podcast, but also of the podcast Facebook page. What? What are you doing? What? Is that something on your finger?
How many fingers have I got?
You're holding up 3.5 fingers and a thumb. You're trying to hide one finger with a finger. What'd you do, tape it together? What'd you do? Tape? You bastard! You did something funny. By the way, everybody's.
That's what you find on YouTube at 2 a.m. How to do that?
Somebody, I don't know what you did. You had something between your fingers, but I don't know what you did. A wrapper of some kind. Yeah, well, I guess we'll have to figure that out later.
Okay.
I saw.
Flounder. What do you think? How many fingers have I got?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, 3 fingers and a thumb. All right. Well, see, I don't like
Mind
magic
blowing.
unless I know how to do it.
It works on my great nephews.
If I don't know how, well, I used to do, got your nose. Remember those? Everybody's done that. I saw a commercial for Neutrogena. And I just kind of the mind I have thinking
I
about
love
these.
those soaps.
About the liberals of today. I can't believe this hasn't happened. Neutrogena, their tagline on their commercial, they put in your face, loving Neutrogena soft sweet soap, and it says Neutrogena for people with skin.
That's funny.
And now, come on. So somebody's going to say, I identify as a skinless American, and therefore you're offending me, and I want money for it.
Skinless.
Skinless.
You can't live without your skin.
It's the biggest organ in the body.
Everybody's got skin in the game.
Oh, again, if somebody asks you what's the largest organ of the body, it's skin.
Well, for some people.
Well, Mr. Show Off. Now put that away, damn it. I thought that was a water bottle. Shame on you. Got to do a quick Publix encounter episode?
Does it end happily?
What'd you just do? Drop the whole thing there. No. Yeah, I mean, it's possibly amusing. As you know, rarely, and for good reason, I get recognized. The other day in Publix, I was in Publix. I go 4 or 5 days a week, and I usually buy 2 things of carrots and whatever I need, 2, 3, 4 things, and that's it. So I'm in at the Publix up in Milton, where I go near where the stable is. And the Publix 10 or less line, it's actually a split lane, so there's 2 cash registers, and either one of them is 10 or less. So it's one out for 2 cash registers. So when you go up to it, if you get in the wrong side, you're in the wrong side. So I'm going up to my 10 or less. There's a guy in front of me, 10 or less. I get behind him. On the other side of me, on the other side of the counter, facing the other side cash register, is a guy with a whole cart full of stuff, and he says, "Oh, I guess I'm on the wrong side." Which you can do if you're not looking where you walk. So he has to walk back out and walks then behind me with his cart full of stuff. And then a guy comes up behind him in the 10 or less line. Okay, the guy behind me's got a whole cart, looked like a whole cart full of stuff. Okay, I get to the register, and the guy get to register, and this little girl, cutie, behind her says, "How are you today?" And I said, "Oh, I'm on the right side of the grass. How are you?" And the guy behind me says, "It's the Kimmer." And which occasionally happens, and I immediately realized me and my big mouth. And so I said, "No, it's amazing. A lot of people, I've heard that." I said, "No, I don't have any, And he starts laughing, and I start laughing. I said, "How you doing?" He's doing, Okay, then the girl says, and they all do this, maybe not all, but the little girl says, "Would you like to donate to charity?" And I said, "I don't give a damn about your stupid stinking." And then I started laughing, and they're all laughing behind me. And the guy said, I'm glad you said that. I hate when they say that. And even the girl, the little cashier, said, "I hate it too."
Give
I
him
said,
$1.
I hate it. And I said, "I'll give you $1. That's what I said. That's what I said. I said, "I don't give a damn about your stupid." "Oh, I'll give you $1. That's what I said to her. And she's laughing, saying, "We hate to ask too."
Because you get to the pearly gates, and he goes,
I do things for charity. I used to pay
He goes, that $1 at
I used
Publix.
to pay utility bills for old ladies all winter.
And that was a mistake, too.
Anyway, so I give her $1 for the thing. Anyway, so the guys, and now the reason I normally will do a selfie, I'll do a little video selfie to put on Facebook, to talk with a guy who recognized me at Publix, which is, and I didn't do it this time because I can only imagine that when the guy behind him realized that he had a whole cart full of stuff and he had already made the wrong decision and then got in the wrong lane twice. I didn't want to, say, "Oh, here with me today is Bill," who, so I just got out of here. But anyway, I thought that was pretty. I said, "I don't give a damn about your stupid stinking."
Did you use the opportunity to get another listener to the podcast by saying,
"Oh, that's where he knows us from."
Okay.
Yes. So I thought that was pretty cool. Anyway, that's why I did not do a selfie on that particular one. Also, one personal thing, and I think it's a double cliche, and you tell me whether this is true or not. For the last several nights, I've got stomach issues. I don't know what's going on. Whatever. I have stomach aches and cramps and stuff all night long. So if I go to bed at 10:30 or 11, by 1:30 I'm up, and then 3 o'clock I'm up, and so it happened the last several nights, all last week. In fact, when Pete on our last podcast asked me if I wanted to go grab some, because it was 5 o'clock by the time he got done, go get a chocolate waffle or something. I said, I'll pass, thanks. And because I just the thought of eating at that point. Anyway, so I've been up and up a lot. And so finally Saturday night, I felt kind of the same thing. And so I said, that's it. I said, I'm just going to not do anything. I'm going to gut it out and tell myself to shut up and quit bitching about it and just try to get some sleep. Well, I didn't get a lot of sleep. So 1:30, I'm this Saturday night. I'm up at 1:30. I'm up at 3:15. And finally I said, that's it, screw it. And I looked at the clock. The last time I looked at the clock was 4:15 in the morning. I said, well, I'll be up in an hour anyway, like always, so it's no big deal. And I fought myself not to let anything bother me. I didn't wake up until 20 after 9. I've never slept.
Isn't that awesome? That happened to me. That happened to me on, when was it?
I do that every day.
Oh, I couldn't believe it.
It happened to me Saturday night because me and my dad went to eat dinner, and I came back here and watched TV for a little bit, and I woke up around 3 like I normally do, just because Lucas wanted to eat, and then normally I'm up. I'll kind of lay there and listen to my headphones or go onto Twitter or Facebook for a little bit, but I was like, I'll try and go back to sleep. I went back to sleep. I didn't wake up till 9:30. It was I haven't slept in that late. I don't know, in 15 years?
Well, now, when you tell somebody that, oh, man, I couldn't believe I overslept with the so-and-so, what do they say? Oh, you must have needed it. Right? Your body needed
You were tired, yeah.
Yeah, your body obviously needed that extra sleep. And the first thing you would think of, you needed to be rested.
That's what Cindy said.
What's the second? Well, there you are. What's the second cliche? Now, maybe it's only me.
You're lazy.
No, the second thing that happens when you oversleep and sleep way too long is, at least in my case, I felt like crap the whole day and all night, and I still feel a little blech. I mean, it messes you up, right?
They say the afternoon nap should be no more than 20 to 30 minutes, because you go longer than that, it's worse, because you wake up.
I mean, I had fun going to the stable and talking to the horses and stuff, but I felt like shit the whole day, all day and into all night. so
just because you got extra sleep? Huh? Just because you got some extra sleep?
Yes.
Usually you'd feel better.
Now, Pete knows.
Well, don't call me Pete Knows. Well, here's the thing that happens when I do that, and I go do something, and something weird or bad happens, like you get you think, well, this wouldn't happen if I got my ass up when I was supposed to, you know?
Well, but I didn't feel. I just felt discombobulated, and like I was late, and I couldn't get over. I mean, it was awful.
If I take less than an hour nap in the afternoon, I'm fine. If I go 2 hours or 3,
I go 20
I wake up. It's like I'm in another world.
For some reason, and in fact, I did it, I think, I might have done it on Saturday trying to catch up. If I take a nap, I only take a nap for 20 to 25 minutes and wake up automatically. That's good stuff. Thank God. Yeah. But I don't know why, but I do. I don't even set an alarm ever. All right. God, I'm so sorry. Right? Not now. I'm okay now. You sent, tell the little people about your video you sent of a dog, I think, and some strange apparition floating in the background.
Oh, it's Australia. Basically, there's a dog, and it's walking across a kitchen. But you see, walking beside it, appearing out of nowhere, is a shadow figure with kind of a light trail behind it. A human being, you can see it, and it's walking purposefully, like it's supposed to go somewhere, and it walks beside the dog. And what I find interesting, the dog isn't freaking out, but the dog, I think, because you can see both eyes of the dog, they're shining. And then you see one eye because it's turning its head, and then the last shot you see of the dog, you don't see any of the eyes. So it's obviously turning to look at whatever just walked past it.
Communicating or hearing or whatever it was.
And they say, now here's the weird part. The thing comes out of a cabinet, a rather tall cabinet. Yeah. They say that's where they keep the cremated remains of loved ones.
Oh, Jesus.
So and they say maybe the dog doesn't freak because the dog knows who it is.
Oh, boy.
First of all, why are you keeping the cremated urns in your kitchen? What if you mistake it for the rosemary or something?
Yeah, you know? I thought there was cumin. Damn.
Spices. Yeah, seriously. It was human.
Cucumber flakes.
Yeah, there's cumin and human. And literally, it was Aunt Rosemary.
Yes, it was Abby Normal.
Seriously. Who keeps that in their kitchen?
I don't get it. No,
but it's a freak. Know. It is a freaky. It's one of the best ghost ones I've seen in quite a while. By the way.
Oh, mercy. All right. Geez, where do we go? Oh, let me do this one thing about, I feel bad about this. I mentioned this cop thing before. Veteran police officer, Marietta police officer, a major. I'm not even going to mention his name. He joined the department 27 years ago, promoted to major a year ago. A grievance was filed by 2 police officers a month ago implying that there was racism from this major toward black officers under his command. They did an investigation that lasted for weeks, interviewed employees, interviewed all kinds of people, turned up absolutely no evidence, none of inappropriate actions or comments from the major toward any employees. None, nothing, zip. However, during investigating, talking to the major, he admitted, 10 years ago, I said a bad word. It was a derogatory, inappropriate racial term. It wasn't directed toward, I didn't call somebody the name. I used the name in passing of a thing. It was wrong. And then he said, years ago, I publicly apologized and said I regretted it. And it was years ago that I apologized for it. But all of a sudden, the 2 officers who were not working by the Marietta Police Department when it happened. They weren't even there.
Yeah.
But they heard somebody said, hey, he said a bad word once. Says, what? So So the 2 guys found out that he had admitted that he said a bad word 10 years ago. So now the police chief's saying, we do not tolerate racism and take allegations very seriously, and we appreciate the officers who brought forward their concerns. So they've suspended the Marietta major without pay for something he said 10 years ago and apologized for back then that was not even directed toward anybody. And 2 cops who were not there at the time want him punished for one word that he apologized for years ago.
Let me guess, he's white?
We can't talk about race. I mean, my God.
Everybody has used a bad word. Everybody. Your priest has used your preacher has used a bad word. Everybody has used a bad word. I'm sorry.
I mean, I can't believe it. I mean, I guess he was screwed. He didn't have it. What's he squeaking about?
He wants attention, but when you go to give him attention, he goes,
he's
I
been
don't
pawing
want
the
you,
pictures and
he goes, don't touch me. I want attention, but just don't touch me.
He's starting to squeak.
Yeah,
I'll bet he
wants to go
does. You
outside.
can't do
Get
it.
him a
If you do
leash.
it once, you'll
Give
never.
him a cat leash and let him walk a little.
Well, that's
See if he'll
true.
do
You could
it.
do that.
Some cats like it.
Anyway, okay. Let's talk a little bit about President's showers with daughter. More proof now. We mentioned the force thing, and again, just for the record, the FBI should have been in on this case from the very beginning. And if I remember correctly, I thought they had some kind of undercover operator in cahoots with those guys a year ago to keep tabs on them. Anyway, whatever. Since all these rioters and violent protesters who are willing to kill police officers are mostly from out of state, theoretically, according to these people, the leaders of it apparently, why isn't the FBI involved in interstate crime?
I know.
That's their job.
I know.
I mean, that's their job.
They're too busy attacking parents at school board meetings.
Yeah, and too busy making sure that Ray Epps and all his followers, who are leading people in the mostly peaceful Ashley Babbitt Day, non-insurrection day, January 6th peaceful protest, we're gone. We're free. All those undercover agents, they've never still have not addressed them.
Did you see? Was a week or 2 ago they went and they arrested 4 Marines?
Yeah, United States Marines. One of them who had a sign.
God forbid.
Yeah, Marines.
The wrong.
I'll tell you. Honestly, I'm ready.
There's more of us than you, FBI.
I'm ready.
Is all I got to say.
I'm ready. And then again, let's look about this: the documents at the White House. And we can't even keep up with it. Almost every day now, there's another disclosure. And by the way, the Hillary Rodham Pea Stinky Fart Cabbage violation of secret documents is way worse than either Biden or Trump's violation of having some actual papers in their house. She had her own server. And erased 30,000 emails under federal subpoena. Anyway, okay, the latest story that came out, the White House was trying to brag that the White House has now said we were the ones who actually asked the FBI last Friday to come back to the Biden home and do some more searching for the documents. We wanted to be above board on this, so we actually called the FBI to come back and search. Okay, first of all, that doesn't mean anything. You broke the law, you broke the law. But secondly, the FBI should have been doing what they did to Trump, armed agents swarming the place and investigating on their own. Why did the FBI no longer think it was important to search the residence after they found sets of documents there?
You know
and
why.
They stopped looking? I guess we know why, because they were pretending, they didn't want to do the wrong thing. They didn't want to just barge into somebody's house like they did with Trump. I mean, remember, and Trump, they were negotiating with Trump for a year about those documents, so it wasn't like they suddenly found out he had them there. They knew where they were. Everybody knew from the day one. But with the Biden thing, how is it possible the FBI didn't go back and say, all right, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to look at every freaking square inch of every possible bookshelf and drawer in your cabinet in your house. And they didn't until they were asked. And when they were asked, they came back and found some more. I mean, I talk about in cahoots with the libs trying not to upend the apple cart. They didn't want to have any bad news for Biden. If the White House had not said, hey, come back and look for more, you'd never know about it.
I know.
I mean, think about that. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. If the White House hadn't admitted that they had to ask the FBI to come back, you would never know about the other documents. And the reason the FBI was asked in the first place, and this is how I guarantee you I'm not being cynical about this, the reason that the White House asked the FBI to come back was because, well, I'm guessing the same lawyers who originally started the search I said, oh, Christ, we've got documents in there. We better find them and come clean with them before the FBI finds out, because then we'll be the ones who found the documents and did the right thing, turning them over, so they can claim the high road. Oh my God, somebody realized there are documents. Who realized it? It was Biden's lawyers realized. Anyway, he's setting them up. Okay, so Biden's lawyers suddenly last weekend said, oh, Jesus, there's more there. Since the FBI looked before and they've caught us already, we better pretend that we're trying to do the right thing here. So let's call the FBI and say, please come back just in case there are more. We don't know, of course. We don't know if there's any more, but please help us to make sure we get to the bottom of all that. They're trying to pretend that they were taking the high road by demanding that the FBI investigate the documents when the whole time we're stinking lying.
But here's the thing, though. These aren't from when he was president, and
not
even when he was vice president.
Yeah.
This is when he's with a senator. And Ted Cruz says, how did he get them out of there? Because the only time I've ever seen these documents is I'm in the basement of the friggin', archives.
1972.
He stole them.
Yeah.
Or did Obama give them to him?
Well, either way.
Because if they're Iran,
no, these are from the time he was a senator.
A senator, 50 years ago, ladies and gentlemen. 50 years ago.
You're not supposed to walk out of there with them.
Right. And he's had the documents in those locations for at least, 6 years. And they were also moved before. Apparently now the documents were in Washington. They were taken somewhere else and then moved somewhere else and then put in the House. So this is unbelievable.
Incompetence at best.
50-year documents.
Yeah. Flounder just found this. A former top FBI official in New York arrested, ties with a Russian oligarch. They were money laundering and all kinds of good stuff. There's your FBI, ladies and gentlemen.
Top FBI.
Special agent in charge of counterintelligence in the New York field office.
Say that again, please.
Charles McGonigal, arrested for ties with a Russian oligarch, including money laundering and other stuff as well.
Well, luckily, though...
rotten to the core.
Yeah, the yellow-bellied, chicken-livered Chrissy Ray, the Führer of the FBI, the disgrace of Atlanta, is saying, well, he was not part of our real team. He was a rogue agent. There's no bias. No, there's no collaboration going on in the FBI.
Who arrested him, by the way?
He was... remember Chrissy Ray, the yellow-bellied disgrace of Atlanta? Remember he was testifying before Congress, and they started asking him hard questions, and he said, God... Boys, I'd love to answer some more questions, but I got this plane to catch. I got to go on the thing there. And he left for his vacation on a private jet.
Yeah.
He walked out of Congress, said, I'm done. I have to go now. Remember? God, honest to God.
It's the arrogance of right in front of you. I can do anything I want. I'm on the right side of the political party right now, and that you can't touch me.
Yeah. And not only...
That's tyranny.
Yeah. That's right. And what makes it even, but not that it could even be worse, this is the same time when President Stupid says when they asked him, sir, do you have any regrets about this handling of the documents? No, I don't have any regrets. We all did the right thing from the very beginning. No regrets, no problem that he had secret document. Anyway, well, it sounds like typical thing. And then he had the balls. This is President Showers with daughter. Goes on Twitter and says, quote, 2 years in, and I've never been more optimistic about America's future, on his 2-year anniversary of his inauguration.
Where am I?
Never been more optimistic about America's future after his 2 years in office.
You ever played Biden charades?
Yeah. Well, coming up next, people who responded saying, well, that makes one of us. Tim Young, gas is up 40 cents from last month. Eggs are $9.
Yep.
You're not even awake. Put the phone down, intern. Another, 2 years in, I'd say the only direction you have to go at this point is up. Another said, Jesus, take the wheel. At Biden charades.
Biden charade. 2 words. I forgot what they were.
I can't remember. I think they're a little short. And then Carmela's side piece. Oh my God, Flounder, do you have the soundbite of her? She was giving an address on the Roe versus Wade anniversary, the appeal of the Dole decision, or whatever, I forgot, Dobbs decision, I think they call it. And Carmela was talking. Do you have that little soundbite over there? Here's your vice president. See if you notice anything amiss about what she says here.
A promise we made in the Declaration of Independence that we are each endowed with the right to liberty and the pursuit of happiness.
Excuse me? Okay, let's count those again. The right to liberty, all right, and the pursuit of happiness, and I don't know. Hold on, let me see if I remember. Okay, see, give me the rights to. Isn't there another word missing?
Truth, justice, in the American way.
So she's commemorating the right to an abortion, and she leaves out the first word in that little trifecta, which is life. Holy smokes!
Pursuit of happiness means you don't want those pesky kids around. Let's kill them.
Yeah, if you don't really want children and you have one by accident, if you go to Virginia, the doctor and the governor will take care of the newly born, so-called fetus baby. And if the mommy decides, I don't really want this, it was supposed to be an abortion, well, then we'll keep it comfortable until we kill it, so you don't have to take it home with you later. Jesus,
Here.
she leaves out the pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Holy crap!
All they care about is their own personal happiness. They don't care about
on
anybody
abortion
else.
day. I mean, this is the right to life.
Here's her other quote. The issues that are present in the climate crisis are varied, and it requires us to be present and in front of each of the iterations and variations that include extreme weather that produces a lot of water and drought.
Jesus, that's
a
almost
quote.
as bad as the yellow school buses, and you'll get
It
to
means
see
nothing.
space. It's word salad again. I mean, honestly, if they try to run her for president, just play all these clips. I mean, just make a 1-minute commercial by the GOP, just playing her yellow school bus. Don't you love yellow school bus? I love yellow school bus. I mean, it's unbelievable. Of course, Biden said, well, the thing. And got away with it, became president. And that was as smart as he's ever been. Anyway, how about Joy Behar? These left people, I'm telling you, they can't stop. Joy, have you heard her comments about Alec Baldwin? And by the way, again, he's got to be.
I stand completely behind Alec Baldwin.
Oh, do you? Oh, behind him, yes, me too. Always. I mean, he even admitted, well, I cocked the hammer, but I didn't pull a trigger. Yeah. Anyway, I can't wait till now. Obviously, he's going to make a deal, and they'll let him get away with it. And the only deal I'd make with him is if he pleaded guilty and was willing to go to jail for 6 months or something, just some punishment, some physical. No, it's not going to happen. But Joy Behar thinks that Alec Baldwin got away with it because the prosecutor is because the prosecutor's a Republican, even though she's not a Republican. She's a screaming Democrat. But here's a reaction. Joy Behar thinks that Alec Baldwin getting charged for killing a woman is because of his politics, not because he shot and killed a woman. One of the scarier things about Joy Behar is that she doesn't know how stupid she sounds. If it wasn't against Twitter rules, I would call Joy Behar a stupid effing quint. But it is against the rules for me to call Joy Behar a stupid effing quint. Therefore, I will not call Joy Behar a stupid effing quint. Joy Behar's runner-up with Rob Reiner for biggest celebrity idiot. by the DA won the Democratic primary by 30%, one of the most liberal areas in the country. Joy Behar suggests Baldwin was charged because he's a liberal. If you want to get stupid, just listen to the cackling hens on The View. These are some of the dumbest people in the known universe. Alec Baldwin said, Larry Elder's a dangerous idiot. I mean, Trump-level dangerous. On the other hand, Larry Elder said, on the other hand, I've never shot and killed anyone, so there's that. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Celebrity stuff like that brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com. Custom shirts and hats and signs and promotional items, no minimum order, no setup fees, now with laser engraving. They do all the Kimmer Show and Holy Crap It's Sports stuff, FarmhousePrintingCo.com. If you want to get a Joy Behar t-shirt, you can get that.
Do it, whatever you want.
Anything you want from them.
Yeah. In fact, I've showed you the video. I'm going to put more video on later today of Lucas the Podcat, and I have video of the actual rug, or the rug that they made at Farmhouse Printing Co. for Lucas the Podcast. So, and they do great work, I promise you. Let's see. Nancy Pelosi called priests to perform an exorcism after her husband's hammer attack. The daughter admitted to the New York Times that her mother called priests to perform an exorcism on the house just weeks after her husband was attacked with a hammer. Allegedly. Her daughter said that Nancy felt guilty that her husband was injured by a man who was looking for her. She weighed heavily on her. I think she felt guilty. It really broke her over Thanksgiving. She had priests come trying to have an exorcism of the house and prayer services. Nancy, it should have been the exorcism for you, because you're going to hell when you die, you black-hearted, screaming fake. Taking communion? I hope they don't give you communion. God. Anyway, an exorcism. They picked the wrong target. This popped up. There may even be sound of this. I haven't heard if there is, but there's a woman who used to be famous for a short while, an athlete, a female black athlete named Sha'Carri Richardson, or Sha'Carri, perhaps. Sha'Carri, I don't know, sure. Richardson. And she was known for, let's see if I can find it here. She was rose to prominence starring for LSU's track team. She broke the NCAA 100-meter record as a freshman, qualified the 2020 Olympics, but then got disqualified because she tested positive for smoking weed. She claimed that her mother had died, that she didn't know very well or something, and so she smoked a joint. But anyway, she got kicked off the Olympic teams, and now she's back in the news because she was on an American Airlines flight, and she had a stew with a stew. She identified a flight attendant as John, said he disrespected her while she was speaking on her phone before they took off. She put videos of herself in the seat. She said, prior to the video, this gentleman asked me to get off a cell phone call. I did. I stated to him I didn't like the tone he was using with me. Okay. Let's see. Following that, while standing in front of me doing the safety protocols, he continued to lean over to look at my phone. He asked to see that my phones were in plural, were in airplane mode at this point. He demanded that me show him, which I did in front of him. I'm reading the words. It's unclear where Richardson was traveling from. She wrote she was vacationing, argued with a flight attendant in the video, showed him on the camera. She moved back behind a curtain. She asked her, after asking her to stop recording, she was recording the flight attendant, she responded animatedly at the flight attendant. His initial comments toward her were not shown in the video, but she said, I'm recording me, but you jumped in my video, so I caught you because you jumped in my video. You've harassed me at this point, so I think you should stop. Other passengers are now yelling at her, saying, come on, lady, stop, this bull. I mean, they just want to take off on the plane, give it a break. Stop arguing with a flight attendant, do what he says. So she starts screaming, y'all see him, right? Y'all see him, right? Y'all see him, right? I'm sorry, it's not me. Talk to to him. No, ma'am. Do not talk to me like that. I'm an adult. Do not talk to me like that. Do not talk to me like that. Tell him to stop. If you do not know what's going on, you do not yell at me. On and on. I mean, she lost it. She's going screaming. And then while explaining, she thinks the flight attendant should have been kicked off the flight. They kicked her off the plane. The flight attendant, she says, should have been kicked off too. Other passengers can be heard telling her, "Thank you, by the way. I'm going to miss my connection. I now have to get off the plane," because they're pissed that they miss their connections because of her. And so she says, "Oh, so you're worried about a connection when a grown man is disrespecting me?"
Yes.
And the guy said, "I don't give a shit." This skank was then escorted off the plane and continued shouting with the passengers and fighting with the flight crew. They applauded when she left. And she says, "Tell me if I'd be wrong to pursue legal actions against the airline. And not only did the man threaten me, but also an innocent bystander simply wanted a picture with me. In the beginning, you can hear a Caucasian male state he doesn't give a damn or an F as a man that male flight attendant is intimidating a woman." Oh, my God. And I got to thinking, have you ever made the mistake of getting into an argument with a black woman?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
How did it end?
We used to work with one.
Well, that's true. We had, oh my God, I think we all had.
I've worked with her a couple places. But I could argue with her because she knew me from before.
Was that the news anchor? Was she a news?
No, she wasn't a news
She
anchor,
was in
no.
the area. But
So I could get in with her because she knew me, but others got in with her, and that was a mistake.
every once in a while, I'll be at a gas station or something, and there'll be a black woman and 2 or 3 white guys in a pickup truck or something, and man, she says, reading them the right act about, "I belong in this neighborhood. You got no rights," and I'm going, "Oh God," It's just. And I thought, talk about a cliche. I mean, and you can see her going, "You not be talking to me like that. You don't just." I mean, oh my God. So I thought that was fairly amusing. Now, can I make a couple of quick things on TV shows? I'm roaming around doing stuff. Homeland is back on HBO, like the first year of series or something, in case you want to record a million of them, for the record. And I was skipping around, and I saw that on Turner Classic Movies was the movie Bank Dick with W.C. Fields. You know that movie? You ever heard of that, Flounder?
The bank.
Bank Dick, D-I-C-K, a detective. Oh, are you a private dick? It's the Bank Dick.
Yeah.
And it's W.C. Fields from 1940. And I'm telling you right now, if you're in a bad mood and you have a chance to get that, if you can do a Demanded or whatever, the Bank Dick, if you're in a bad mood, the first 4 minutes of that movie will have you weeping, crying with laughter and funniness of the first 3 or 4 minutes of that movie. W.C. Fields' The Bank Dick is just hysterical, and it's his physical comedy as well as, "Oh, the attitude, I'm a little chicken, a little mud turtle dove." Anyway, just for the record, I just wanted to point it out. If you're looking for a laugh, The Bank Dick is hysterical. Tonight, I'm going to be laughing. I'm going to watch The Bachelor's is back on TV.
I'm looking at the actors in that movie. Was one of the Three Stooges in there?
Yeah,
Shemp.
Shemp
Yeah, that's
was
Shemp.
the bartender
He looks
at the,
really
at
old.
the Black Kitty Cafe.
Yeah, he was an actor more than the
I will
others.
have an aperitif.
He was in the Thin Man movies too.
Oh, he did a lot. Yeah, he was the secondary Curly, I guess.
They brought him in later.
Yeah, well, Curly died.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's just a funny movie. Now, The Bachelor's back on TV, and again, years ago, I used to, my kids would watch it, my daughters, and I would watch it, and then the next day or so, we'd call and talk about, weird stuff. And my favorite thing used to be that I'd try to guess which one of the women was going to cry first, which one was going to have a fight with another woman first, and which one was going to break down first, just because, they're all like they're thinking they're going to fall in love on TV after 3 meetings of 8 minutes long with a guy in The
There's
Bachelor.
a new one, by the way. The farmer, the girls from the city go out to meet a farm boy.
Oh, well,
Have you
that
seen
makes
that
sen-
one?
No,
that
but-
looks pretty good.
Yeah, that makes. Well, they used to do that with Alaska Men. Remember that one? They had just on Alaska Men looking for women to come up to Alaska and be my wife. I guess this is the same thing. Now, have you seen the meme? I think I sent it around. Somebody sent it to me of the 2 hot little girls, like 20-year-old chippies, and they're both gorgeous and sweet and very feminine. And one of them's talking to the other real quick. She says, "Oh my God, he has a wood-burning stove." like he's the new,
And chickens.
yeah, he has eggs, he has chickens and a wood burning stove or something. Anyway, so The Bachelor, and I'm going to just try to figure out which one I think will be the first one to cry. And by the way, isn't it every time, I don't want to talk about the show, every time the guy's talking with the girl, they have their alone time, and he's talking with this girl and trying to get to know each other, some other little trampy always comes in and says, can I borrow you for a minute? And then he has to leave to go to her, and the other girl's saying, well, what am I, a meatloaf sandwich? I mean, it's the whole thing is just awful and icky. But again, it's back on. I'll never watch The Bachelorette, where all the macho guy, 20 macho guys try to out macho each other for the girl. But watching those women, careen all over themselves, trying to fall in love on TV. Dear God.
Stupid people.
And remember the Atlanta prosecutor woman who was beautiful and classy, and she went on that stupid Bachelor show, and they caught her having sex with a guy, and then he didn't pick her for the throws, and then she was engaged to somebody else, and he knew now the national TV show was on after she had taped it months before. And now she's engaged to some guy, and he watches her having sex with a guy in the dark on TV. Well, why'd you have sex with me if you weren't going to get a... I mean, gee, I'm going to mention her name because I'm feeling embarrassed for her. Anyway, okay. One more nitty-picky. Quick thing, nitty-picky. The Fox TV hosts are the worst at interrupting their guests. Arthel, is it Neville, the Sunday anchor woman, and she had on one of the senators who was investigating all the document stuff, and the FBI explaining how the Hillary Rodham P. Stinky Fart Cabbage was way worse than this, what they're going to be charged with, how the documents were floating, da-da-da-da-da. And in the middle of that, she interrupts him saying, well, is this the kind of thing that you think that the authorities will, and he... what? And she goes, what? I mean, it's just, I can't believe it all the time. What's the matter? Jesse Waters does it all the time, too.
They're horrible interviewers.
Oh, it's awful.
It's the worst.
They're clearly not listening to the answers, which is the key to be a good interviewer, to listen to what they're saying.
The late night show, it's not Jimmy Kimmel. Who's the other Jimmy?
Fallon?
He is the worst interviewer on the planet. Anytime you watch him have someone good on he interrupts them. He asks them a personal question that's completely irrelevant to why he's on there. It's just awful.
That's almost understandable with an entertainment thing, but a news person should know better. If you're trying to get the news out to find out what the facts are, why would you interrupt the whole flow of facts that you're trying to find?
I can get past the fact that, what's her name, Othel Neville?
Yeah.
She looks like a character on Avatar.
I know it. She's not. I mean,
She looks a human giraffe hybrid.
They're not news people. They're broadcasters. Anyway, I just a nitpick, and I'll stop. But it drives me so freaking crazy. Speaking of TV stuff, can we do a little fun comedy thing maybe? How about that? That Hader. Was it Bill Hader? Yeah. He was on TV. It was on being interviewed on
Conan O'Brien.
And the reason I think this is cool, and I don't know why you picked out this one, but I like it. And the reason I picked this out is because this guy's name is Hader. Here was the guy who you recall last week when I was doing my birthday list, and I did a birthday list of this guy Hader from the TV show Barry. And Pete says, "Oh my God, nobody's ever heard of him. Nobody cares about the so and so." And I said, "Wait a minute, you bastard! You love the show Barry. You used to watch every week. You loved that show about him being the assassin, the former Marine stuff." Anyway, so because you yelled at me for wasting your time when I thought I was doing it as a favor for you. Anyway, so here is our favor for Pete with our friend Barry, the actor, who's a comedian, and you'll hear his past here in a second. A very short bit where he talks about his experience with a famous personality.
Movie called Collateral Damage, and that was the big one.
Here we go.
I was a PA on an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie called Collateral Damage, and that was the big line in that movie was, "Open up the door, there's a bomb in there." And the first time I met him, I go, he comes up to me and he had his cigar in his mouth and he goes, "What is Jeff and Peter?" That's his hair and makeup guys. Yeah. And I go, I don't know, I'll find them. And he goes, "Find them, show me your leadership capabilities."
California. How could a man's been here for 50 years not know how to speak the language?
So Friday, my future brother-in-law and his brother decide we're going to go to Bobby G's Chicago-style pizza in the middle of the day.
Oh, boy.
Well, there's two reasons for that. One, the pizza. Two, old styles. Yeah, slurp some old styles. So we get there, and I realize I've been brought here because I'm the damn designated driver. Which is funny.
You don't drink. You don't drink.
I don't
do you?
drink. So anyway, and I'm sitting there, and I can smell the beer, and it's oh my god, it smells so good.
Old
so anyway,
style?
we're there
Jeez.
having a great time, and we're driving back, and of course they've had a few at this point. And we're taking a shortcut back through Milton, Alpharetta, and whatever, up through those country roads that are so
Yeah,
cool
it's
to
beautiful.
drive in.
Horse country. Yeah.
And we're riding this big old Dodge Ram. He goes, oh, I got something here. And he pulls up his Waze to give us directions, and it's Arnold. You must turn here in quarter of a mile. You
he's
turn.
got the app, the
Turn.
famous celebrity
And
voice.
you turn. You must turn. It's basically him directing. We will have to shoot someone up here. You must turn. And it just makes you laugh the whole way.
Was it
of
Waze?
him barking orders at you.
Was it Waze?
It's Waze.
Because the one I have on Waze is Christina Aguilera.
Well, how can you? I mean,
There's
can
a
you
there-
order one?
no.
You-
There's a setting. I'll show you. There's a setting and it
It's
has
free,
different
isn't it?
names. Yeah, it's free.
I think it's
There's-
free.
'cause I use Waze all the
and
time.
he said he got Arnold because my sister drives the truck. And he goes, she didn't like the woman telling her what to do. So he got Arnold to tell her what to do.
There's a Morgan Freeman one. There's a Morgan Freeman one too, and there's a couple others.
You must turn. No. Or else.
Some butterflies just need to be free, or whatever the hell. Oh my God, that's so weird. Let's see. Oh God, I got a couple quick things. Oh, did you hear our congratulations? Wait a minute, I gotta find. I haven't used my reading glasses all day. That's really fairly amazing. Let's see. Okay, two things. Astronaut Buzz Aldrin got married to, quote, his longtime love in a small ceremony in Los Angeles. Buzz Aldrin made history along with Neil Armstrong. He was the second human being to set foot on the moon, as far as we know. And his wedding took place Friday, which was his 93rd birthday. Yeah. He says, I'm pleased to announce that my longtime love and partner, Dr. Anka Fauer, and I have tied the knot. We married in a joint ceremony in Los Angeles. We are as excited as eloping teenagers. By the way, he is 93. Buzz is 93. His bride is 63.
You seen her?
Which is, no.
Hot blonde.
Hot blonde. Well, there you go. 30 years younger and a long-time love. So I guess when he was 45, she was 15. Okay, that's fine. That's pretty good. Well, that's
He
fair.
didn't meet her then.
Well, we don't know that.
Yeah,
Long-time love. He was 45. She was 15. Add it up, my friend. Do the mathematics. When he was 50, she was 20. Okay, that
By the
makes
way,
sense.
Rocco wants your man card right now.
For what?
The Bachelor.
Oh, please. You don't have fun making fun of girls who make fools of themselves in front of some stupid-looking idiot. I guarantee you the guy's not
anybody
white.
talking to you?
I haven't seen the guy who's the Bachelor. I have no idea.
Okay.
I'll bet he's mixed. I guarantee you he's not a white guy. Guarantee you he's not a white guy. I'll give you a man card. All right. Also, speaking of man cards, how about this? Here's a little Miss Manners. Now, Miss Manners, to me, do you know who that column is?
Yes.
Okay, everybody knows that. Okay, she's the very proper Miss Manners. Okay, etiquette lady. Okay, I'll bet she's a screamer. I guarantee she does things to you. Anyway,
She's a squirmer.
oh, she's a screamer. Dear Miss Manners, although it does not happen often, I nonetheless find it quite irritating when someone rings my doorbell and knocks on the door. How should I respond to this? Gentle reader, a look of panic as you open the door, followed by, is everything all right? Do you seek immediate shelter? This, Miss Manners hopes, will at least give your guests pause to consider the alarming effect of their dual-handed assault on your door. Is everything okay? Do you need shelter?
What?
That's pretty funny.
What?
That's what I do when it's like a kid or somebody soliciting. I have a gun in my hand and I always go, what?
You don't do that. Kim, we're not doing that. Brought to you by this lovely people. Are you tired of arriving to surprises at your weekend cabin? Have a mountain home you're having trouble maintaining? Well, call North Georgia Intendancy. We can manage your North Central Georgia vacation, weekend, or rental house so you can relax at yours. Visit us at ngaintendancy.com or call 770-595-6664. That's 770-595-6664. It's ngaintendancy.com.
They will take the worry away from you. By the way, the word is intendancy. Intendancy.
That's right.
Excellent.
Excellent.
And thank you for your sponsorship. We're very, very grateful. A bunch of things yet still to go. Something about tranny freaks have gone too far in your list.
I'm glad you brought that up.
And we're going to talk about how to rob a bank and something about penguins. Also, you're going to hear about a very interesting event in history from 1968. And on this day in history and birthdays and all kinds of fun stuff coming up here.
By the way, someone put a picture of Biden and Kamala with a Pornhub thing. Yeah. And, they always have titles.
Yeah.
This is a little blue here.
Yeah.
Interracial couple fuck entire nation.
There's one of a what the hell is it, of an elderly woman, and it says, oh God, I've never been kissed by Trump, but I've been screwed by Joe Biden or something like that. I mean, a lot of you.
You may have used this story once before, but I found it interesting. In 1836,
all right,
let's take you there. 1836.
I'm there now.
A sewer worker accidentally discovered an old drain which ran directly into the Bank of England's gold vault. He wrote letters to the directors of the bank, requested a meeting inside the vault at the hour of their choosing. When they showed up, he popped out of the floor to greet them. They reviewed the incident and gave him 800 pounds. How much do you think 800 pounds was?
Well, it's probably $1,500.
1836.
Oh, in 1836?
1836.
In today's value?
Yes.
Oh, God, probably $5,000.
64,000 pounds, which is about 100,000 American dollars, somewhere around.
Yeah,
I haven't checked the
cool.
trade thing.
I'll meet you in the vault while we're waiting. Kaboom.
Okay.
It's like that movie. You ever see the movie with Denzel Washington played the cop with a hat and
a cop with a hat.
It's a bank thing, and the guy hides in the bank. The British actor who played one of the killers in the.
You have a hat too?
No, the movie where.
2 words.
Matt Damon plays the bad guy. Plays
the
the
Italian
hero.
Job?
No. Matt Damon plays the undercover agent. Oh my God! Come on!
You're not ringing a bell.
No.
You're ringing a bell.
Oh my God!
Inception.
No.
Jungle Book.
No, it's a series of the guy. There are 3 different things of the
Sabrina.
They tried to kill him because he
Born
was
Supremacy.
No, Jesus God!
I'm naming every Matt Damon movie.
Matt Damon, the Born people. Born
That's what
Supremacy.
he just
That's what
said.
I
Well, I didn't hear my ear. I have no ears. And now I forgot why I mentioned his name.
Me too. So let's move on.
Oh no, it was worth it. Oh, go ahead, and I'll find
Trans
it.
people have gone too far. Do you like the Aretha Franklin songs that she does? I mean, she's the queen of soul.
I've liked a couple
Aretha
of her
Franklin.
songs. Yeah.
Natural Woman.
Yeah. Oh, I saw this. Unbelievable.
1968. The Transcultural Mindfulness Assholes, or TCMA, it perpetuates multiple harmful anti-trans stereotypes, according to the freaks, and I use that term, freaks.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as a natural woman. This song has helped inspire acts of harm against transgender women. What's inspiring me? TCMA is requesting that it is removed because they don't like it.
Yeah.
You can't like it either. See,
Right.
this is a power play that fascists do. I don't
Right.
like it, so you can't do
Right.
it. They're requesting Spotify and Apple Music take Natural Woman off their playlist.
I'm flabbergasted.
And this is true. This isn't a joke.
Yeah.
These people actually think they can tell you what you can listen to.
And by the way, they're not alone. I mean, this is a movement. This is a whole section of the country.
You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile, and they're never satisfied. They're freaks.
These are the same people who have now decided that we saw it on Tucker the other night. He had hidden cameras, that famous organization that does hidden camera stuff, and they had all these teachers admitting, well, we don't teach CRT anymore. We changed the name to and they just changed all the labels.
Yeah.
And do the same thing and change the names. And he said, and every time they catch us, we just change the name again.
Yeah.
And it's there. It's right there.
Admitting it. Yeah. Don't trust teachers. Don't trust authority. You can't. Go back to
what they're doing.
Here's a headline. Tell me what you think when you read this headline.
All right.
Oopsie. There you go.
Oh, my. Oh, thank you.
Scientists discover emperor penguin colony in Antarctica using satellite images.
Well, okay.
My first question was, how the hell did the penguins get hold of satellite images? How can they control
They found the
satellites?
penguins using satellite images. I didn't
got
know they could
flippers.
use satellite.
How do they do this?
It's like
That's what it says.
Bad text theater.
And so it said, reading this headline, I thought the emperor penguins were using the satellite images. It's true. It's true.
By the way,
Yeah?
speaking of satellite images, I want to hear something that blows my mind. And again, that may not take a lot of effort, but a radio signal from 9 billion light years away has been captured in a record-breaking recording. The signal was detected by a unique wavelength known as a 21-centimeter line. Let's call it a hydrogen line. Okay, I'm going to try to make this simple. Let's call it a hydrogen line. It's emitted by neutral hydrogen atoms. Okay, hydrogen line. The signal, captured by a giant radio telescope in India, means the scientists can start investigating the formation of the earliest stars and galaxies. The signal was from a star-forming galaxy emitted when the 13.8 billion year old Milky Way was only 4.9 billion years old. In other words, it's the equivalent of looking back in time 8.8 billion years ago. Galaxies emit light across a wide range of radio wavelengths. Until recently, the 21 millimeter wavelength we're talking about had only been recorded from galaxies nearby, but a galaxy emits different kinds of radio signals, limiting our knowledge of those galaxies closer to Earth until now. But the signal allowed astronomers to measure the galaxy's gas content and find the galaxy's mass. That led scientists to conclude the far-off galaxy is double the mass of the stars visible from Earth. Now, I'm not sure what all that means, other than they found the light from a galaxy that started 8 billion years ago?
You know what the message said?
Yeah, we're all going to die.
No, we've been trying to reach you about your warranty on your spaceship. By the way, you know why?
Jeez.
You know why this is NASA. NASA has figured out why we have not been visited by aliens from other galaxies.
Why is that?
Because we got bad review.
Well, probably.
Yeah, we only got 1 star.
Look, oh, hey, hi-oh. Oh, my God. It's bad text theater every 9 minutes all of a sudden around here.
Come on, that was funny. That's funny.
I noticed no one ever asked you to ring the bell, I guess. They should
That's
take
you.
take a lesson or something. I don't know.
Jonathan says he was in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And went into a barbecue restaurant.
Yeah, so-called Connecticut barbecue.
He told the waiter, I'm from South Carolina. And the waiter said, don't eat here. You'll just be disappointed.
It's just pork. Here, they take pork out of a bag.
Oh,
and
it gets even better. Did you see the photo? I'll even show it to you. Here's a photo. What do you think about that?
It's not much. It's some cut up meat and 2 bare rolls and 2 pickles in a jar. Yeah, that's kind of plain and sort of.
It's a guy who
elementary.
literally
It's like a prison meal or something.
He wanted to start some shit. His name's Liquidity. He said, New York City barbecue over Georgia all day. So
he's pretending that's Georgia barbecue?
No, he's saying that's New York City
I got
barbecue,
you.
and it's better. It looks like a prison meal.
It looks like a prison meal. Yeah,
Okay.
A gray tray with plain meat and plain roll.
So here's some responses he got. That is some amazing-looking cement brisket right there. That's not barbecue. That's a dry-ass brisket with 2 pickles and a Hawaiian roll or 2 for $50. You should drive to North Carolina and really get some. You probably save some money. Another one says, that ain't no barbecue. That right there is Vlasic pickles, Hawaiian sweet rolls, and deli meat from Publix.
That's right.
I'm not an expert on barbecue, but I can easily tell that it's not 100% beef. Try again, New York. And Jeremy said the pickles and beer are way off to the left because they're trying to escape the tray. Is that leather parked next to the King's Hawaiian rolls, a cup of bacon grease, and plastic pickles?
Yeah.
Who doesn't love boiled brisket? Here's my favorite. There's 2 favorites. Where do you want us to send the donations? This is tragic. People shouldn't be forced to live like this. And Brian said, if that's not the best visual depiction of the New York Mets I've ever seen, I do not know what is.
There you are, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see, a couple of birthdays in the news here today. And obviously it's silly to mention birthdays on a podcast, because if you listen the day after, then it's whatever, but I'm still doing it. Robin Zander of Cheap Trick in the Hall of Fame is 70
Lead
today.
singer.
Yep. Mariska Hargitay, a former daughter of, still the daughter of Jane Mansfield, who did not have her head cut off in the car wreck. It was only a wig, but Mariska Hargitay and her siblings were in the car when her mother got killed. Mariska is 59 today. Tiffany Amber Thiessen, the beach girl in those little TV shows, 48. Richard Dean Anderson, the original MacGyver, 72. Gail O'Grady, that kind of chubby, real pretty blonde from NYPD Blue and American Dreams, is 59. CBS News Marxist and communist propagandist Nora O'Donnell is 48 today. Princess Caroline of Monaco, 66. Dolores Conchita Figueroa del Rivero is 90. Cheetah Rivera, West Side Story in Chicago, among other things. 1991, the owner and boss of a radio station in Albuquerque, New Mexico, KLSK-FM, wanted to make a splash when he switched formats to classic rock. So he had the DJs play Led Zeppelin's song, Stairway to Heaven, for 24 straight hours without a change. After a while, the cops showed up with their weapons drawn, bursting into the studio when a listener reported that the DJ must have suffered a heart attack. All was well, everything's fine. Later, the cops showed up a second time because of the suspicion that terrorists had taken control of the station and had hostages because it was 8 days after the Gulf War started and Saddam Hussein was a Zeppelin freak. So they barged in a second time at the radio station.
There was a movie with Brendan Fraser and Steve Buscemi that was based on guys rock and roll group taking
Airheads.
over.
Is it Airheads?
Probably.
Was that it? Yeah, that might have been it.
That's where, what's his name?
There's several people. By the way, Rocco says, I'm never picking Kimmer for my charades team.
Well, you could have helped me and you didn't. And now I'm killing myself to think why I was mentioning Matt Damon, and it was one of his movies, and then I was
Denzel Washington wasn't in any of the Bourne
No,
movies.
hold on a second. I just remembered the connection. The connection was in the Matt Damon movie where I think it was the second one, where he goes to his girlfriend's house with her brother and the dog, and then the next morning the kids come in and say the dog's missing, so he goes out to try to...
It's the ex-lover, yeah.
Well, no, it was... yeah. And so he had gone, he said, well, I'll go find... And he was going to... Clearly, the American killers were trying to find Matt Damon, so they sent a killer to try to find him. The guy they sent got killed by Matt Damon in the field with a shotgun. That guy was the guy also in the same movie we were talking about.
Clive Owens.
Clive Owens was in the movie where they hid inside the bank and robbed it, and they thought they got away with it because he was hidden inside the bank. It was called...
I didn't see it.
Oh, God, somebody will know. The bank movie with Clive
knows?
Owen and
Help us
Denzel
out.
Washington, where he had the ring and he went to the mayor and made fun of him and stuff like that. It was a very famous inside job.
Okay.
Inside banker, inside job, something like that. And Clive Owen was the guy in the movie about the bank where the guy came in through the back wall. And
Inside
I mentioned
Man.
it to cover the thing.
Inside Man.
Inside Man, thank you. Ta-da, da-da-da, ba-ba-bum-ba. It takes a little longer. Okay, I got there. Get off my goddamn back. Sorry.
Things aren't
No,
firing.
erase that.
Synapses aren't firing.
No, it's just bad things. 1978. Guitarist, songwriter, and original member of Chicago, Terry Keith, was goofing around at a roadie's house party in L.A. when he breathed his last. Terry Keith picked up a 9mm pistol, leaned back in a chair, and said, don't worry about it.
It's Kath.
What?
Terry Kath, not Keith.
Oh, it's pronounced Kath? It's spelled Keith in the thing I read.
It should be Kath, right?
I'll go with you. You would know that more than I. I believe it. They printed Keith in the thing I read.
Kath.
Let's call it Kath. Terry Kath, I beg your pardon. He was at a roadie's house party, L.A., picked up a 9mm pistol, leaned back in a chair, said, don't worry about it, you guys. The clip is not even in it. And he showed him. And friends started saying, hey, don't fool around with a gun. What are you doing? What are you doing? He says, it's no problem. It's an empty magazine. He puts it back in the gun, puts it to his temple, pulls the trigger, and kills himself because there was a shell in the chamber. Yeah. And he died instantly doing what he always loved, killing himself. But the reason I mention it is because the Alec Baldwin thing, you don't get a gun and just do stuff with it.
He was a great good.
32. He died in 1978 when I was born.
What's his name? What's his last name?
Terry Kath, Kath.
Yeah, I'm sure it was misspelled in my thing. I'm sorry.
I learned in high school. I was over at, he was a year younger than me, Neil Cross. And I went over to his house for some reason over by Lake Lucerne. And he's shooting at trees and squirrels in his backyard with a .22. Because back then, Gwinnett, people did that.
Yeah.
And he said, they're here, you want to do it? And I said, I'll shoot that tree. And I said, is it loaded? He goes, no, it's not loaded. I was just, fooling with you. And I turned like an idiot. The only time I've ever done this in my life, and I pointed it right at his belly button. It would have blown his spine off. And I said, you sure it's not loaded? And he goes, no, pull the trigger. And I turned and pointed at the tree, and I blew a hole in the tree.
Oh, my God.
And he fainted. He went bloom and hit the floor.
Good.
Yeah, and that's I'd always been taught not to even point it, and that was a lesson learned right there.
Did you hit him in the face with a rifle butt a couple of times?
That must have shocked you too when
Kick
you.
him in
Oh
the
hell
kidney.
yeah! It was like doom.
Holy Jesus!
Yeah, and it's a lesson learned right there. And you think about it, that would have changed both of our lives. That 1 second
Forever,
would have changed both of our lives.
Yeah, it was a 20. It probably wouldn't have killed him, but it might have.
It could have
But
split
it
his
certainly
spine.
Well, it would have messed him up forever. Could have hit his spinal cord or kidney or liver or whatever. Yeah, I mean, and Juvie Hall. Da, da, da.
Again.
Hey, poor bastard. Should we do a comedy thing? You want to play the Bill Burr thing on the going to a sporting event? And I love Bill Burr. I've always loved his routines because he's one of those fun, common sense, everyday
That has not been
Seinfeld
canceled.
comedian. But yeah, and I don't know.
He's in Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Mandalorian. No one cancels this guy.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, he's a little bit where he reacts on something that I think we've all kind of reacted to, and it reminds me of when I was talking about giving the money to charity at the girl at the counter, which is why I thought about this be kind of a funny bit to play. Here's Bill Burr.
Nowhere they have this moment, stand up to cancer. I'm watching a ball game, and all of a sudden everybody stands up holding up a sign of somebody that they either know that's dying of cancer or died of it in the middle of the game. It's just like, what are you doing? Trying to watch a game here. No, there's a time and a place. Look, I know somebody that has died of cancer. I would never go to the movies with you and in the middle of it hit pause and be like, oh, by the way, Conan, I know this guy. He died of cancer. It was horrific. I could have lifted him up off the sheet with 2 fingers. It was horrible. Hey, enjoy. Oh, by the way, I got molested when I was 9. Enjoy the rest of this.
I mean, who would have thought, he's just a funny guy. He's just a funny guy. And I'm telling you, if you ever get a chance to hear the bit about him going on the train to go see his girlfriend in Harlem. I mean, and he said, I'm on the train with a couple of all these black guys. Of course, I look like Howdy Doody with a sign that says, come and beat me up, I mean, it's just, man, it's freaking hysterical. Speaking of hysterical, our buddy Jim asked the question earlier today, a musical question on the El Kimmer Show podcast. Would Swap My Whip be able to find you a hot rod Hellcat in return for a Prius? Maybe. Why don't you find out? Go to swapmywhip.com. Whip, of course, a colloquial phrase for a ride. And swapmywhip.com, and you may find a like-minded car owner who has always wanted a car that you have or some friend that you know, and put him in touch with that. And he has a car that you want, and you kind of go back and forth, make your own deal, trade off what you got. Honestly, whoever heard of such a great idea? Well, it's there now, swapmywhip.com. You may find exactly what you're looking for, what you've always wanted. No middlemen, no dealer, no salespeople. You may get yourself a great deal, a better deal, and something you'd never be able to find before without swapmywhip.com. And it's not just cars, obviously trucks and SUVs, boats, jet skis, off-road vehicles, go-karts, I mean, whatever, swapmywhip.com. And if you use the coupon code KIMMER, KIMMER, it's 180 days of free premium listings on swapmywhip.com. one of our happy sponsors. I'm glad to have them aboard. Historical note. I mentioned, let me talk about this now, the Pueblo. This was kind of interesting. And I remember all these things that happened back when I was still in the Marines and not at home. This happened on this day, 1968. North Korea captured the USS Pueblo, a small, rickety surveillance vessel on its first intelligence-gathering mission. One crew member, Dwayne Hodges, was killed in the assault. 82 others, some grievously wounded, were taken prisoner. To be sure, it was a humiliating Cold War catastrophe for the United States, already deeply mired in the Vietnam War. But it was a propaganda debacle for the diminutive North Korean leader Kim Il-sung as well, thanks to subversive efforts of the Pueblo's captured crew, who used the only weapon they had to undermine the so-called great leader, their agile minds and their middle fingers. Flexing his mini muscles, Kim Il-sung made a spectacle of his American prisoners, trotting them out before the cameras, coercing confessions of their evil intent toward the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Given the savage beatings and other forms of torture the malnourished alien crew members had endured throughout their 11-month ordeal, there was little they could do to defy their captures, at least directly, but their subtle resistance ultimately made a mockery of Kim's oppressive tactics. Subversive messages were embedded into forced confessions. In one, for example, the men assured the North Koreans that they wished to pecan, a word that by definition means to offer praise, but that happens to sound a lot like peon. So we wish to peon your country's leadership. That's what they said. But their leader as well. In another, the Pueblo commander, Lloyd Booker, wrote in tiny Morse code, "This is a lie." They would use their fingers to tap out messages, much like the prisoners in Vietnam did from North Vietnam. But what really inspired the men was the discovery that their subjugators had no clue what the raised middle finger meant. "We now had a weapon," wrote crew member Stu Russell. "Back in our rooms, we were elated. This was one more thing we could use to discredit the propaganda we were being forced to grind out." From then on, the men incorporated the single-digit salute into all the forced photos of themselves that North Korea sent out to impress the rest of the world with its might. And you can see there's every picture giving the bird to the...
I'm surprised it didn't get back to the...
Well, and again, I remember there was an issue of whether people should say, "We get your message," because they didn't want them to find out that they were doing it. And I remember, and I'm trying to remember whether that was actually in the news and people were saying, don't reveal that, or maybe it was afterwards. I remember the issue of whether or not they were going to find out. But at the time, and the same thing with the prisoners of Vietnam, at the same, 68, the same time, they would send out messages whenever they could. Anyway, pretty stirring. 1977, a book is turned into a TV series that ran 8 episodes starting on this day. Everybody knows the name Kunta Kinte. The show was Roots. Won 9 Emmys, a Golden Globe, and a Peabody. I watched every one of them. I thought that was a great series.
I knew him as Toby.
Kobe. Well, I used to call him Kobe. I call him Kobe. The Cobster.
Toby.
Kobaruni.
Toby.
Kobamundo.
With a T.
A D. Toby with a Toby. Yeah.
It's a joke.
That was sort of a joke. 1922, a 14-year-old boy named Leonard Thompson lay dying from diabetes in a Toronto hospital. By the way, I don't say diabetes. It's diabetes. I've always heard diabetes, and all of a sudden every doctor's saying diabetes. It's not diabetes any more than the word strength is strength. It's not strength. I know it's spelled S-T-R-E-N, strength, but it's pronounced strength, or length, not length. Well, the length is, no, it's not length or strength. It's length and strength. I'm sorry, shut up.
And it's aunt, not aunt.
It's not, oh, God. If you're in Boston, it's aunt. Otherwise, it's you can do it like kind of an aunt. It's kind of almost like an aunt, but it's aunt. It's your aunt. It's not your aunt. Dear God. Anyway, this little boy dying from diabetes in a Toronto hospital. And an injection of a new drug called Isletin caused a severe allergic reaction. So for 12 days, a chemist named James Colip worked to purify the ox pancreas extract. Yeah. Ox pancreas extract. The second injection on this day brought the boy out of his coma and was a complete success. The drug was now called insulin. 1986, the first 10 musicians. This is incredible. The history thing I had, Flounder sends me one, and I do a couple of my own. The one I got says the first 10 musicians on this day in 1986 are inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. By the way, I'm still flabbergasted that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame wasn't begun until 1986.
I know.
I mean, doesn't that seem kind of late in the area of rock and roll?
Not really. It was only 30 years
Well,
old at that point.
But I'm
35?
amazed when I say, oh my God, they wouldn't. Anyway, whatever. All right, so it was just for, but it said, quote, the first 10 musicians are inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Can you name them? What do you think were the first 10 musicians into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Babe Ruth, Tris Speaker,
No,
Ty
this
Cobb,
would be
Christy
music,
Matthews.
rock and roll. Flounder, how about you, sir? Well, we can all name at least a few.
The
first 10
Beatles.
guys, the Beatles, all right.
Buddy Holly.
All right.
Elvis.
Yeah.
That's 3.
Who's the rock around the clock? Bill Haley? Was he one of the first? Probably not.
Nope.
Not Richie Valens or
Yeah. James Brown.
James Brown.
Ray Charles, Buddy Holly, Chuck Berry, Sam Cooke, Fats Domino, the Everly Brothers, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Little Richard. But they also
Most of them are all black.
But they also let in Sam
Most of them.
Phillips and Jimmy Rogers, which is 12. So it's not the first 10. Anyway, whatever. Those were the names on this day. 2001, 5 protesters. Does this sound familiar? 5 protesters pour gasoline on themselves in Tiananmen Square and light themselves on fire, all captured by CNN camera crews whose tapes are confiscated. Chinese commie mass murderer police quickly put out the flames. In the year 1556, an earthquake in Shanghai province, China, believed to have killed as many as 830,000 people. It was hard to count them all because they all seemed to. Sorry.
Stop it.
In 1980, I didn't say that. In 1985, O.J. Simpson, the serial philandering, unintelligible double murderer rapist who won the Heisman Trophy, and to be elected was the first Heisman Trophy winner to be elected to the Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. I'll be damned. Some folks who died on this day. In 2005, Johnny Carson died of emphysema at 79. Excuse me. Same day, 2011, Jack LaLanne, the physical fitness guru, died of pneumonia at 96. Jack LaLanne was the guy who did an early TV show. He was in all the TV Guide magazine ads and stuff. 2021, Larry King died of sepsis after he had China kill virus. Larry was 87 in 2021. And in 2003, Nell Carter from Give Me a Break died of diabetes at only 54.
The sugar diabetes.
Sugar diabetes, yeah. I got that sugar. Had that sugar.
That sugar diabetes. Got that sugar. Sal Bando died.
No.
Yeah, the great Oakland A's
Oh
and
my God!
Brewers.
A big giant. Was he a third baseman? And he was a big, stocky, muscle-bound guy. Sal Bando. I remember covering him when I was at Arizona State, and the Athletics came to train in Tempe at Arizona State.
He was a captain. He was the captain of those teams.
I met. That's my Willie Mays. I met all those baseball players.
This
back
is the
then.
day Willie got inducted in the Hall of Fame or elected. I think one of those.
I'll be damned.
Elected.
How old was Sal Bando? Does it say?
70 something.
Yeah, it's got to be my age or a
He was
little
younger
couple.
than me.
You thinking younger than I am?
I think so. 72 maybe.
No, he had to be older. He had to be playing ball when I was in college.
He was playing ball in the 70s.
God, I get hold. It's over.
I
got nothing.
Speaking of over,
over.
Me and the future brother-in-law took a dog into the PetSmart up in Canton over the weekend to get washed.
Yeah.
And then we realized everyone's going to think we're 2 gay guys bringing our dog in. Now, this is after the day before my sister sent us to Bed Bath & Beyond.
Oh, no.
To search for something. And we're walking around going, we're the only 2 guys walking around in here.
You like this one, or is this the one she wanted?
Yeah,
Which one do you
so
want?
we're thinking we're going to get a reputation around here up at So anyway, we're in PetSmart, and I see some T-shirts, some kids' T-shirts. I'm thinking, why are they selling kids' T-shirts in PetSmart? They're not.
Oh.
They're for dogs.
Dog shirts. Oh, sure.
One was a Janis Joplin T-shirt. The other one was a Beatles T-shirt. And the other one was Dream On Aerosmith T-shirt for your dog.
Dream on, dream on. Oh, jeez.
All right. If you're feeling bad about yourself, you're kind of getting a late start in
I'm
life.
feeling a little bad about myself.
It's never too late to follow your dreams, Kimmer.
Well,
Vlad the Impaler didn't even start impaling people until the mid-30s.
well, there you are. So it's not too late for me then?
It's not.
I'd like to impale
Okay,
somebody.
Flounder, you got to be part of this too. King Commando says choose one.
All right.
Choose one.
Fried pickles,
No.
fried mushrooms,
Yes.
No.
mozzarella sticks.
Mozzarella sticks.
The last two. Either one of the last two. If I had to pick
It's not
between
even
one,
close.
if I can only pick
Mozzarella
one, I'd take the
sticks.
cheese. Take
The mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
Come on, it's not even close.
What, you want the mushrooms? Oh, you
Whoa.
want
The
the
mozzarella. No, I want them. I hate fried pickles. I love fried. I love pickles. I don't like them together.
Well, I didn't know that. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
fried pickles are
Offend you.
like fried pickles are weird.
You go for the
it doesn't
mushroom?
taste right.
No.
No, I do like fried mushroom. I like any fried stuff.
I don't like pickles hot.
So
pickles
what's
should
your
be cold.
answer? What are you saying you like?
Mozzarella.
Okay, well, it's me too.
It's
I'm sorry.
Italian.
Why are you yelling? I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
You're questioning me.
Oh my God, man!
Mozzarella sticks.
All right, Jazz. If I broke into your house and
Yeah.
stole what is on top of your fridge,
Yeah.
what would I get?
Bottled water.
Bottled water?
You would get 3 oven mitts and 2 styrofoam ice coolers
Right? You know
And
what-
you'd actually get a box of pre-rolled joints.
and a gun. My refrigerator gun. I forgot about.
you know
that.
what you get if you broke into my house and
It's not the kitchen gun. The refrigerator gun's different than the kitchen gun. I'm sorry. What?
you know what you get at my house?
What would you get at your house? Pete?
Shot.
Shot. Reach.
So, I'm getting to the Dodge Ram. I haven't been in a truck for so long. You imagine going from my little sports car
I'll
to a
bet
truck.
You
It's like,
felt tiny.
I'm king of the world. I'm talking in front of the
They
Titanic.
are huge.
And I couldn't get the damn seatbelt to work. Have you ever tried a new seatbelt? You feel look like everyone's looking at you. Why can't you get the seatbelt to work? But then it clicked.
Oh my God! I remember they gave me they gave me a loaner car when they were doing work on my car, and they gave me a truck. And I thought, gee, I can't even drive this thing.
I had no
Holy
idea
criminy.
where does it end.
It's freaking huge.
I know. I can't see the end of
Jesus.
it. All right. PETA said, next time you think of eating a chicken, remember, they had a family just like you.
So
Lewis wrote, this is why I order a family bucket at KFC. No one left behind. And we haven't had, remember we used to do, there was a Who story every day. There was
Yeah.
always a Who story.
Yeah.
We haven't had a Keith Moon story for quite a while. So,
What now?
1968 in January, a Qantas plane touched down in Sydney with the Who.
all right,
They were
Qantas,
gonna,
Australia.
They're going to tour with Small Faces and Manfred Mann. They were going to tour
Okay.
the country for 10 days, right? Australian press was on them from the time they got there. They were not happy.
What?
They were just giving them shit from the time they landed, and you do not give the Who any shit.
What were they complaining? What were they saying?
Well, the English
didn't like
long
rock and
hairs,
roll?
you know,
Yeah,
you blah, blah, blah,
hippies.
you know, all this here and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, after the show in Brisbane, Keith Moon persuaded the tour manager to get him a rental car, even though Keith could not drive and did not have a license. So
That's usually a bad sign.
he spent the rest of the evening driving around Brisbane, having lots of fun until 2:30 a.m. when he returned to the Park Royal Motel.
Yeah.
Whereupon he drove the car through the front doors right into the reception, got out, tossed the keys to the night porter with instruction to park the car, please, my good man. Park the car, please. Al Roker, a lot of health problems. Al Roker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
been
we
a
know
golf from
that.
the
Is
Today
he, why,
Show.
is he dead?
Well, here's the headline from the U.S. Sun. Al Roker prepares to say emotional goodbye as wife Deborah says, "We'll miss you."
Wow.
So
Yeah,
I
he's
so,
been sick for a very long
so
time.
I clicked on it. Here's the story. Today star Al Roker and his wife are preparing to say an emotional goodbye to their son who is heading back to college.
Oh, for God's sakes. Oh, come on.
Talk about clickbait. It worked.
Oh, my God. Well, I hope he dies now.
Oh, I hope he doesn't.
No, I was wrong. I was wrong. Edit that out. Edit that out.
No, I'll make it a promo.
If
Never
you're
done that.
listening to us,
Staff. Damn it.
if you're listening to us right now, by the way, Adam Klotz got beat up. The Fox weatherman.
Got beat?
Yeah,
up
he's
on
beat
a
up in
subway
a
train.
And apparently there was a bunch of people on the train.
And of course, they don't give a shit.
He used to be. He's up in New York now, right?
Yeah, he's
With
on Fox.
Yeah, he was on
TV.
Fox
He used to
all
be an
this
Atlanta
morning.
guy. He was the Atlanta weatherman.
Adam Klotz?
Yeah, he worked here.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't watch that anyway.
And,
So,
I'll be damned.
Yeah, he was beaten by a bunch of teenagers on a New York subway train.
Jesus.
so anybody out there listening right now, you're raising little kids.
Yeah.
Here's a great thing.
Yeah.
This woman says, I would like to thank the person who told my daughter that when she lies, her eyes turn a different color. Because now she squeezes her eyes shut every time she lies, and my job has been made a whole lot easier. By God, I'm going to do that with my great nephews.
Pretty funny, yeah.
You know when you lie. Let's see.
I love it.
Okay. All right. Have you found us a Bad Text Theater,
I
by the
believe
way?
we are on December 15th.
December 15th.
December 15th.
Now, I could be wrong.
That will live in infamy. All right, December 15th.
Is it the one? Is it the Joker one, or did we already do that one?
I think we already did Joker one, yeah.
All right, then go to the Bird Stuck.
We got buying. Okay, yeah, that's the next one. Okay. What do you want to be?
I'll be the guy asking the joke.
All right.
What do you call two birds stuck together?
Velcros.
Oh, God.
All right, we'll do the next one. Once again, it's the white lady yelling at the white cat. The
White
meme.
lady and the white cat. Me. All right.
Are you the white lady or are you the cat?
I'll be the cat.
All right. The cat, by the way, is in the car.
All right.
You can't drive, your license is suspended.
I lost my license, not my keys.
Stupid. It looks like Marjorie Taylor Greene is always the one yelling at the cat, too. Which is perfect, by the way.
yeah.
God bless her. All right, boys, final thoughts for a couple of days here? Anything going on in your life or mine?
Guess I'll see you Thursday. Still looking for a place. By the way, thank you to everybody who's been giving me suggestions. They've
Probably
been
not
really,
the houseboat?
Probably
I
not the
think
houseboat.
It's got to be
It's too
fun, but limiting. It's got to be limiting.
So far away from everything else.
Yeah.
Everything and my family is so far away. If I'm going to be that far north, I should be little, where it's not out of the way like that.
I'd love to find a little cottage house, a little carriage house in the back of somebody's yard, and just be a two room, a bedroom and a little teeny kitchen dining area or something.
I need a little more room than that for all my crap.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to put everything in storage, but
You can
I don't
find-
want to do that. I don't want to put it in because then you have to go to storage to find something. Well, I'm used to walking down the hall to find it.
Flounder saw all the crap when you walked into my place. My whole first floor.
The first floor, but it's just boxes. I mean, I'm sure you could.
You know what you need?
It's not. It's not
you
like
should go on eBay. Go find the stuff you don't want anymore, and put it up on eBay and sell it.
you
Well,
could.
the
I
problem
told him he could easily make a couple grand, probably more.
I've got one or two things worth a couple.
That's
grand.
what I mean.
You could go to the flea thing there. What was the flea market? And have your little booth there for $100 and just have your
Well,
stuff there.
I agree. The only thing I'm thinking of.
no,
one,
that's $5, not $4. No.
Well, here's the thing. First of all, if I were to think I could make $1,500, that's not going to change my life. So getting rid of my personal stuff for $1,500. Okay. Well, the second thing is I don't know what my kids might want, and Jennifer. My daughters are totally, completely different. Jennifer's daddy, Sarah is her mommy. We're just different people. And Jennifer, I guarantee, is going to want every leather jacket I've ever had, every motorcycle thing, every Harley. I mean, every Jack the Good. I mean, and so I can't just start throwing out my knickknacks from my whole life thing because I don't know what they're going to want. So and I don't really care that it's here. I don't need the space. I just put it off to the side and there it is. But at some point, my owner it's a townhouse. That I've been paying a fortune for 10 years. And at some point, he's going to want to sell it, I assume. And I'm going to need to find a place to live. I ought to be trying to find a place that's cheaper just because I'm paying way more money than of course, I was working. When I took the place, I was working. I got hired.
It didn't matter as much.
And now I'm, got the car note and the house note that are way more than I can afford. So anyway, at some point, I'll do that. We'll go looking at houses together. Not together, not as a separate thing. Wouldn't you love it? I mean, I lived in a pool house once in New Orleans where I met my final wife. That was great.
I don't want anyone around me.
Well, I mean, but it was, good point. But I could live down the end of somebody's driveway in a little cottage
My
house.
sister goes, you could get a roommate. And I said, yeah, I can also
No,
just blow my brains out right on the back porch.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I don't think so. No. Anyway, all right, boys. God bless America. I got to go. You're killing me. Hoorah! And we do it again another day. Wait a second. Hold on. Bad choking.
Forgot.
Choking of badness.
Very bad, tasteless joke.
Taste jokes of some kind. Here.
There's a good one.
That's a good one, right.
Encore.
Okay, this is very blue, so if you don't want very blue...
Tune out now.
Tune out now.
Right now.
There was a Polish mother who decided it was time for her son to learn the great American sport of baseball.
All right, sir.
So off to the sporting goods store.
Yeah.
How much is a baseball glove, she asked the salesman. $20. And the bat? $10. I'll take the bat. Would you like a ball for the bat? Suggested the salesman hopefully. No, after she thought it over for a moment. But I'll blow you for the glove.
Oh, hey. You want a ball for the bat? Anyway, well, God bless America. Hoorah, Herp, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for your support. We love it. Herp and who? Look out. Oh, mercy.